We're rolling.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, man.
Episode 97 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. Welcome, everybody. We are brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business, on and offline, website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on IG or on our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. I just happen to be wearing the shirt today.
Hey. Can you buy BB Digital Marketing?
No, that's
Swag?
special
This
for
is you?
employees and friends of the company.
That's right.
All right. I actually I've ordered some stuff. I don't know if I got one of these for you, but I've actually ordered some of these.
I will say,
These hoodies, especially now that winter's coming.
my
It's
wife
perfect.
wears the white one because you got one for her. She wears it out in the wild.
Which, the white T-shirt?
The white T-shirt.
She wears it in the
likes
wild?
No, it
Yeah,
fits her
that's awesome.
great. It fits her. She looks good in it. It's a nice logo.
Tell her I said thank you.
I'm gonna say thank you because she looks good in it. You know,
like the white T-shirt.
and it reminds me of you, so it's like I get to look at two people I like at the same time.
Request a free review of your online presence at bbdigitalmarketing.com, and you get like a full scan of your entire business online and get an idea of where we can help. My name is Milton Campus. I am a brown belt training out of South Florida. We got Bo behind the camera.
Bo.
We have Miguel riding shotgun.
Miguel.
Shout out to our booking manager, Britt. Thank you for getting these awesome guests on the show. Britt Tavar. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Click that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate
Smash
it. Right,
that
the little
like
notification, right? The little notification button on YouTube.
Hey,
You get a
recently learned
notification.
something.
Go ahead.
hit the dislike button.
Yeah, man, thumbs
works,
up or thumbs down.
It works.
Doesn't
It
matter.
works towards the algorithm. It doesn't matter. It counts as a positive.
But click the thumbs up is better.
Yeah.
It all works.
But click the thumbs up, it's better.
And leave
it
some
all.
hater comments. Man. Hater comments, it doesn't matter. Any comment.
All right, joining us today
Say hi.
is Lydia Bergamasco. Some people, if you've been following her for a little while online, you might know her as Lydia Coleman. But we have Lydia Bergamasco joining us shortly, so stay tuned. She is a jiu-jitsu black belt and a judoka.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Another.
Is judoka only for black belts?
What's that?
She will kick your ass.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I was just wondering for the.
It says it on her Instagram. So
then whatever, let it ride.
So yeah, I'm not going to argue with her.
Me neither.
A few quick shout outs. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. We just mentioned them. We haven't mentioned them yet. Hands down the best gi and no gi gear in the business. Don't believe us? Visit them on Instagram at flow_and_roll. Check out their awesome custom gis. Flowandroll.com. You get 20% off with code JJD on their website. I'm rushing through it because we also want to talk about the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu. Rash Guard is actually finally out. We have the go to flowandroll.com, click on the team gear.
It's in my
stories. And it'll say Jiu-Jitsu Dummies right at the top. Click on that. You'll see our regular tee, our podcast tee with this logo. You'll see the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu rash guard, short sleeve rash guard, and the shorts. So please support. Again, this is a pre-order situation, so order now. Order now. Get your gear. Be the first to be wearing the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu.
You're going to get called out if you wear that at your gym. People are going to be like, what? What?
Thank you to the BJJ box for all of their support. They're Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box. It's delivered to your door, filled with premium Jiu-Jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. They find the best products in the world of Jiu-Jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes about 4 to 7 items, right? T-shirt. They have you can buy different levels. Get a rash guard. So there's something for everybody. Use coupon code JJD10 for $10 off your first order. And I think I didn't, I always make sure I check the mail on the way down here.
Again?
And there could be a box waiting. I did not. Oh, no, I did check.
You did?
No box
Not
today.
there yet. You know what's a bonus too with the BJJ box?
What's
if
that?
you own a cat, cats love boxes.
Yeah, right.
My cat loves the BJJ box.
Thank you to Neutral Zone Clean. Check them out at neutralzoneclean.com and at Neutral Zone Clean on Instagram and Facebook. Again, these are we have Neutral Zone CBD. This is Neutral Zone Clean. No CBD in these products. Neutral Zone Clean products do not contain any CBD whatsoever, so you don't have to worry about anything. This is all about being clean on the mats and training.
It's a hygiene
your personal
product.
life. I always say I carry a canister in the car. Check them out. Again, neutralzoneclean.com and get 15% off with code JJD.
And go wipe yourself.
Okay. Also, we have the bucket.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to grab the bucket, right? So there's a separate special that they're running right now. You can get this bucket. Holy cow. Right? That Mamma Jamma. Remember, I got to grab that and take it home.
I mean, these are like 20-inch guns. Just saying. It's a big bucket.
That bucket contains 1,200 wipes, right? And you can actually use this liquid, right? Could be used to keep them wet, add a little refresh them, keep them wet. Keep them wet. Where are we going with this?
It's a concert.
Okay, so that bucket normally costs $100, a little over 109. It's $109.99. Use coupon code JJD gift to get $10.99 off. That means it's $99. And you get free shipping. If you order anything else, the coupon code is going to give you a discount on anything else. But if you want to order in the same order, get some of the other stuff, get some of the other cleaning or hygiene products, like the sprays. We actually don't have the canister, but we got the big bucket today. I actually stole the canister and put it in the car.
Little brother.
If you order anything else, they're going to ship it to you and give you free shipping as well. So it'll come in the same box, and you wind up getting it with free shipping. So Mike and Candy are awesome about taking care of not only us, but
they take care of some athletes like Lydia.
Yep, Lydia is actually sponsored by Neutral Zone Clean. We're going to see that in just a little bit.
And Souza.
Okay. Shout out again, Neutral Zone CBD. No matter if your aches and pains are coming from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mats, or just the daily grind of life, Neutral Zone has a product for you. Find your Neutral Zone by finding the best products for your pain wellness so you can continue your active lifestyle. And excuse me, everybody, I'm hoarse. I'm losing my voice. I'm concentrating on how do I sound, and I'm kind of screwing up some of the read.
He's a little hoarse.
NeutralZoneCBD.com. Get 25% off with code JJD.
Nice.
All right, we got through that. All right, guys. Anything else?
I'm excited for the guest.
Yes, let's get her in here. Let's do it, Bo. Hey, welcome, Lydia. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm sorry. Awkward pause.
That was a strange face.
Hello, Lydia. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. I didn't actually see the mic because it was lost in your hair, and when you turn your head, okay,
Bam.
Very cool.
Yes.
All set, ready for the podcast.
She's proud.
I feel like Madonna.
Yeah. Have you done podcasts before? Have you done any?
Back in my early days, I actually had a early 20s. We're talking way back when the podcast platform before Spotify.
Okay.
We had a comic book podcast. My college boyfriend and I met up with some friends, and it was called The Concave, where we would talk about comics and all that nerd stuff. But that's a rabbit hole we don't have to go into.
Let's get into that rabbit hole.
Can you get on your phone? Yeah, get on your phone.
DC or Marvel?
Ooh, I'd have to go with DC.
For comics, with comics.
Comics, DC,
I
movies,
agree.
Marvel.
Yeah, you know who saves them?
I don't know much about comics.
Oh no,
DC
versus Marvel.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know
it's
that whole argument.
Marvel. You got your X-Men's and stuff like that.
I think when you hear that now, most people are thinking the movies,
DC. You got Batman, Superman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Well, DC gets dark, right? That's the one thing I really like about DC is that it was the first group that did not care at all about going dark and touching on really taboo issues. Like, for example, the Batman movie that just came out, that's Batman Year One. That's when he's first Batman, and it was the most sadistic Batman movie I'd ever seen. And I really, ironically, enjoyed it because
didn't call him
brought
Batman.
they crossed that line. And then Marvel started doing Max with the Punisher, and then they introduced the Punisher into a trafficking ring and how he would punish these Balkan traffickers and all that stuff. It was really interesting, just to see. And this is what we used to talk about, just how who went dark and who went darker. So it was really cool.
The Batman one that went really dark was the origin story of Batman was that he became Batman and then eventually saw himself become the villain in the future long enough to where time machines existed to where he went back in time and killed his own parents in front of him in that timeline to make sure that he becomes Batman. And that was the time loop of why Batman always exists.
Mind blown. I did not know any of that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Gets
I
weird.
think I just short
So
circuited.
So you
okay,
did
so-
podcasts.
yeah, comics. What about like the movies? Do you lean DC on the movies as well, or
No, I'm more of a Marvel girl.
On the
Just
movie,
because
yeah.
More
Fat
money.
Thor is everything.
They're
in my
super
life.
entertaining. Too.
I just went through on the Disney app. I shouldn't say I'm almost at the end. Like I went through the timeline order. Like
Okay.
if I've seen it,
Yeah.
there was certain things that I hadn't seen or maybe caught half of the movie. Like watching.
They put them in
fell
order
asleep.
for you.
Yeah. They put them in timeline order, so I've been going all the way through. I'm at the Hawkeye series right now.
Okay.
Which I think is like right at the end. I haven't looked into the She-Hulk.
Dude, my
I'm
daughter
not
just
sure if that's
my daughter
too-
just finished it. It's good.
Is it
She's
good?
a lawyer.
Is it
Yeah, it's
actually
funny.
good?
It is actually good.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
actually
I
really
looked
good.
at it. I was like, this looks just so weird. I don't.
I heard it was well done because now I also have some friends who are also like comic heads as well, and they were saying, yeah, She-Hulk actually was pretty impressive. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the lady who plays the main character, that's the mother from How I Met Your Mother, right?
I believe so.
That's the actress who did the mom in How I Met Your Mother. So it's very cool to see how she transitioned herself from TV to film and then back to kind of like a mini series.
Okay. All right, so I got to give it a shot.
I would give it a
I
shot.
think I'm on like episode 4 or 5 of Hawkeye.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely like I like the Marvel, but my preference I like the DC. I mean, I grew up on Superman. To see it go like a little darker in the movies as opposed to Christopher Reeve's Superman.
Yeah.
Like
I
like
thought
that.
the Batman versus Superman was dark.
Yeah, no, I
That was
like
really
those.
dark.
Who's your like favorite Batman? Which
or
like,
Batman or
Which I
That's a
mean,
good
like, is it Michael
Dark
Keaton?
Knight.
Is it
we
It
could
has to be Christian Bale.
Yeah,
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
say
Took
Yeah.
my breath
Nice.
away. He literally, I mean, he's a nutcase too, right? He's out there.
Apparently,
Like,
Yeah.
He's out there,
he
but he's
really
a great
gets
actor.
into it.
He's a
Yeah.
great
yeah,
actor.
method
But,
actor.
yeah.
Yep.
I
He's
liked him
great.
in The Big Short when he plays Dr. Michael Burry.
I haven't seen it.
Oh man,
I know
it's
the
so
movie
good.
you're talking about. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it.
I
I
want to
do-
see him in Amsterdam.
I liked him in
There's
The Boyfriend.
There's a movie with him and Margot Robbie that
That's
just
two.
got released. It's called Amsterdam,
Okay. Yeah.
and
I've seen
I
the-
want to check that out. It's about, I think it's like a post Great War life thing. I don't know.
Timepiece.
What did you think
Yeah.
about the
Why you? I'm not a mind reader.
No, I'm of course, Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck as Batman.
Ben
Did you like that in the latest movies? You didn't like it?
No,
No.
bro.
I
He's always
kind
he's
of.
always going to be Kevin Smith's mall rat to me.
You can't appreciate the sweet without the sour.
You want to know something? I do like him. I think Christian Bale's the best Batman out of any Batman there ever was. I do like Ben Affleck's Batman because it went a little even darker, just as like kind of the. I don't know. Do you call that like a kind of like an anti-hero, right? He's really trying to kill another
Yeah.
superhero, right?
No, he's still a good guy, but he's just he's having a bad. It's one of those.
Yeah.
It's one of those years.
I like that
Batman.
darkness. And something with Ben Affleck is actually funny. Like I'm more of a fan of him now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen he speaks fluent Spanish. There was you could see videos online. Like my
he
wife
learned
is always
that,
sending him to me. He speaks Spanish. He lived in Mexico when he was a kid for like a couple years, and he maintained his friendships, learned Spanish,
Orale.
and he speaks with a Mexican the
is
twang,
very
like,
Mexican.
orale. Like he speaks like with that little that
accent.
stereotypical like
It's not
Mexican.
stereotypical. It's the
But,
Mexican accent.
So
I'm
he's-
Colombian.
Well, I don't want to be like the Mexican accent. Somebody go, what do you mean
It's
Mexican
a real
accent?
thing. It's a
Yeah.
real thing. It's just
Yeah.
you're trying to be careful because you
Yeah.
care too much about what
You
people
know
think,
me,
motherfucker.
yeah.
It's
I'm
called a
always-
Mexican
Listen,
accent.
I'm
Gabriel-
always like straddling the line.
Gabriel Iglesias, the comedian, he makes
Yeah.
fun of that. He's Mexican.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. He's Mexican.
Yeah.
But so
But he brings
anyway,
it
so
up.
now I'm like a little bit of like a bigger Ben Affleck fan. My wife tells me like I have a crush on him now because to watch him speak Spanish, I'm just like, this is awesome. It's like.
Well,
Something about someone like you didn't know he's been around. Nobody knew, and then all these videos come out of him doing interviews in Spanish. Where the hell were these?
had me at Goodwill Hunting. Mallrats was
Awesome.
good. And then when I found out that he can't play blackjack at any major casino in
Oh, they don't let him.
they don't let him. He's an avid poker player, so
Okay.
I may be more of a fan. But he's actually such a good card counter, edge edge sorting is what the technique is
Oh,
called. Like
no shit.
he could do all that. Like he's apparently like super cerebral when it comes to that.
Wow, he's a
So
mentalist.
he's not allowed to play blackjack in Vegas.
He's a
Like
bit of
any
a
Good Will
Mentalist.
Hunting is in my top 5 movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely, of all time. That's an amazing movie. I was actually trying to get my wife to watch it recently. So you did a podcast.
Yeah, no. I love.
You did a podcast.
I'm gonna look up concave.
Yeah, right.
It's
Pull
so
it up now.
old.
We're gonna insert it into the.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like and subscribe.
I got it tangled here.
Like, share, subscribe.
let's talk about
ring the bell.
some jiu-jitsu. Let's talk about
Sounds
jiu-jitsu.
good.
I know that you do jiu-jitsu and judo, but let's just talk to us about how you got your start in martial arts. Period.
So I've been doing martial arts ever since I was a little kid. I have 10 cousins who were significantly older than I was, and then the one cousin who was relatively around my age used to just beat the living crap out of me. He's like 2 years older than I am, and like ever since I could walk, like there's been accounts where he'd be like pushing me and like fighting me, and like it really like there was just some weird I have to kill her mentality that he had. So my parents enrolled me in Oyama Karate, and I was studying that in. So I'm from New York originally. I moved to Jersey recently.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? So basically, I grew up downtown Manhattan, and there was this dojo there, and it was a full contact karate studio. And my mom enrolled me because she goes, I need you to know how to defend yourself, not only against my cousin, but against anybody that would ever put me in a bad situation. And I learned how to fight, literally like full contact fighting. And that just carried on to adulthood. And then, I kind of got distracted a little bit because of swimming and lacrosse. I played lacrosse and I swam in college. So that took a lot of time away, but I still was able to keep up with like martial arts and just keeping up with like fighting. And nobody messed with me because they knew that I could throw hands. So that was nice.
And you can swing a stick too.
Let me ask you a question about. It's the first time I've really heard. I think anybody on the podcast specifically like say it this way is full contact karate. Like I took karate when I was little. I definitely, we didn't do sparring, right? It was like, you just forms and katas.
It was after school.
When you say full contact, I mean like as a kid, you are strapping on the gloves and you're punching people in the face. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally everything you see in Cobra Kai, but not theatrical, not as theatrical.
Yeah.
And of course with the safety. So I can remember my earliest tournament. I won when I was like 8. I was about to get my brown belt, and I was the youngest in that class because of how much I wanted to fight. And also I was tall. I've always been a tall kid, a big kid. I'm tall now. I'm 5'9". So when I was little or younger, I was always the biggest kid in the class. I was always the heftier kid. So they always put me in the advanced classes, and I would just like fight the older kids. And that was advantageous for me because it taught me how to fight, it taught me how to stand my ground against people who were bigger than I am and people who were bullying me. But yeah, it would just, my senseis over at karate would just put these little chest protectors on, the little styrofoam head, like the glossy styrofoam helmet and like gloves. And they're like, all right, go. And it was whoever could get up to 5 points, and certain body parts were worth certain more. I don't remember it, but my mom ended up stopping me because I got put with this 13-year-old boy when I was 10 because we were the same height, and he kicked me so hard I was throwing up afterwards. So my mom said, okay, we're done. We're not doing this anymore. We're going to do like stuff like Taekwondo, and we're going to move you around to like different things where you still are learning martial arts, but you're not gonna get completely hurt.
How'd you feel about that at that time? Were you like, oh, hell, I'm in, we're out of here, or were you like, no, I want to keep on doing this, Mom?
I was like, I want to take him. I want to take this kid out.
Where did he hit you? Where did he hit you?
He hit me probably. I think he just kicked me as hard as he possibly could, like in my solar plex. Like it just knocked the wind out of me. And I was, a 10-year-old kid, and he was a 13-year-old boy. Yeah. So like, he's developing, his testosterone's like soaring, and I'm just like this like fat kid. Just like, let's go.
First ball dropped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, he kind of hulked out on me a little bit, and that's fine. Because if I ever catch him again, I'd be like, hey, you want to roll? Like,
I think that's an official call out.
Yeah.
13-year-old boy.
Do you remember his name?
No, I don't.
Oh, man, we call him out.
From Lower West Side, Manhattan.
I will find you.
Yeah.
So go on. I stopped you. So you go from...
So karate to taekwondo, and then I started swimming, and then the taekwondo was actually helping me develop my leg muscles for swimming. So my mom kept taking me like twice a week, And I was going to practice almost like 2 a day and everything, and just pushing myself for swimming and then lacrosse. Then after college, well, in the middle of college, I learned about Muay Thai. So I was like, oh, I get to punch people in the face and really not feel bad about it. So I learned how to box. I learned how to do some striking. And then it eventually led me to MMA, kind of like bled in a little bit, the time when Ronda Rousey and Misha Tate were in Strikeforce, not even in the UFC.
Oh, I remember Strikeforce. Showtime.
Yeah, back in the day.
Showtime.
And
Yeah,
I said to myself, hey, I like what they're doing. I kind of want to do that. So I enrolled in a jiu-jitsu school, and I'll never forget my first day. And it's going to go nameless because I don't want to be tagged with this particular affiliate. But I remember he goes, the instructor goes, okay, so it's $100 a month, and you can train as many times as you want. We have striking, we have jiu-jitsu, and, here's $100. There's no contract. It's month to month. Here's a gi, here's a belt. Jump into class. I'm not teaching any technique, so it's an hour of straight rolling.
Your first day?
My first day. My first day. And I looked at the guy and I was like, oh, okay. And he goes, the bathroom's over there. We don't have a women's changing room. And I said, okay. So I walk in and there's just a mat of just like big sweaty dudes. And I think to myself, man, what did I get myself
From bad
into?
to worse.
I was like, crap. Okay. So I put on the gi. It was an 8-4.
That's
And like,
that's big on
well,
me.
no,
Yeah.
I mean, it had some space, right? When I started jiu-jitsu, I was huge. Like I was a lot bigger, you know, like despite being active, I ate like I was still swimming, and I was drinking like I was still swimming. And my metabolism was saying, girl, you're on the wrong side of 18. You are not a swimmer anymore. Like you need to relax. So, my first day I got completely like trucked. Like it was bad. Like it was just like, I think the smallest guy in the room was like a 220 pounder.
Oh boy.
And after class, like I remember I like hurt my nose and like my face was all messed up. And he goes, are you coming back tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, what time? And he goes 7. I was like, all right, I'll see you then. And ever since then, it just kind of unlocked a door for me to train.
See, I think like we talked about this on the last episode about like getting your students in, like you got to kind of be a little gentle with the new guy. They weren't so gentle. How were you? 10 at that time, or you were a little bit older?
No, I was.
Oh, you said
22. I was like 22, 23 at the time.
22. I'm sorry. Okay.
But this was like this was a little over 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like
So-
still early jujitsu if you think about it.
I mean, a kid wouldn't have been back, but an adult might. Like okay, I need to learn how to do that to other people.
I would say that an adult now would be more likely to not come back from that.
Oh yeah.
Because jujitsu is where it is now versus back then. You didn't really have choices,
a lot of options.
no videos, no YouTube, not jujitsu. Like, hey guys, this is what you should expect about a BJJ environment. Blah blah blah. Like,
no,
there was none of that.
Hats off to you for going back.
Thank you. Well, here I am today, right? Like a decade later.
Congratulations
But-
on your black belt, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
Yes, that was a very emotional moment, and it was cool because my professor, she's a female, and getting promoted to black belt by another female to me is just amazing.
Yeah. That's great.
That's dope.
Congratulations.
I'll take it. I'll take it from whoever gives it.
Where does judo play into all of this?
So I toured around with judo. So in 2018, I was training with Marcelo Garcia in Manhattan, and I was competing for him as well, and I was doing really well. And I was toying with judo. I met Shintaro Higashi at like a seminar, and we just clicked, right? So Shintaro and I kept in touch, and he goes, hey, anytime you want to start learning judo, we can make that happen. So I started going like once a week, but then after Worlds 2018, which I did podium, I medaled there, and I did use my judo that I learned for like the 3 weeks that I went. But I just didn't have time anymore because I just wanted to focus on being better, right? Like, because to me at the time, getting silver was not acceptable, right? Even though it's like a big feat getting silver at a blue belt worlds, that's huge because that's a lot of people that I had to cut through. But to me, it just wasn't acceptable. So I wanted to focus more on jiu-jitsu. Then flash forward to 2021, my first super fight ever as a brown belt was against this Brazilian national judoka who is also a brown belt.
And it was a gi match.
And it was a gi match. And I said, you know what? She's going to throw my ass. And if I pull guard, she's going to do something where she's just going to pin me and do something. So at the time, one of the students at the gym I was training at, she's a highly competitive judoka. She was showing me a couple of things here and there, how to enter, how to block. And when I went into the match with Michelle, my opponent, who ended up being one of my really good friends, so I talk to her like almost every day now, but I was able to block, and I was like, oh man, I missed this. I really do. So I Googled judo near me, and Cranford JKC was the first judo school to come out. And Cranford is the home of 8 Olympians, I believe.
Well,
so I went in and I said, hey, I'm a jiu-jitsu brown belt, but I want to learn judo. Teach me.
okay.
Sensei Nick was like, okay. So yeah, let's do judo. So that's where it kind of played in. I did it to just improve my transitioning. I did it to improve my chances of actually surviving if I ever get in the ring, or not ring, but if I ever get on the mat with a one of these Brazilian girls who kind of cross-trained judo and jiu-jitsu, or any girl who
You're the threat now.
Yeah, now I'm the threat.
You're the threat. Yeah, you're the one that people are like the other end of the story. It's like, man, I got on the mat and she's been doing judo.
You're gonna make somebody else start training judo.
You're
one
perpetuating
woman,
judo.
Yes, but not one woman stood with me at Worlds, and that really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
They know.
Well, the minute they felt that grip on the back, they were like, nope.
I hate that. Yeah. That's the meme,
like,
baby.
man.
You ever seen the meme about like how to beat a judo player, and it's just like it's just like a montage of people pulling guard.
Yeah. I even see when you see the square patch.
Yeah.
USA,
Get out.
Like you see them in front, you're like, oh yeah, no.
Sit down, bro.
Yeah, whether it's on the mat, like at a competition or in your own gym, some guy walks in with that big square patch. You're like, oh.
I will say, Lydia, when somebody grabs the back of my collar like that and does those little gentle tugs first, I sit down immediately.
Then we can never be real friends.
Yeah, it's okay. You know where to find me.
I'm too
On my
old to
butt.
get thrown. I'm absolutely too old to get thrown. I'm like right away. I start thinking, oh, my back. We have Tom.
Yeah,
Tom's a black belt in judo. I pull on him all the time.
He's almost made my feet touch the ceiling.
No, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Because you know how I get cocky sometimes?
Yeah.
I tried.
You tried?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I pull guard.
When you try hard?
I give him a little bit. I make him think I'm going to play with him a little bit, and then I'm just like, boop.
Nah,
right to my butt. It's too much.
That's very hurtful. Feelings get hurt, okay, guys?
So I'm a Henzo.
Got to work in the morning.
I'm a Henzo Weston affiliate, that's the school that I go to. So like we do a lot of stand up. There's like wrestling classes, takedown classes. Yeah. It's very like
any judo? No straight judo?
Well, yeah, but it's more like jiu-jitsu judo, which I'd love to talk to you about because there's a big difference. There's a lot of back exposure in traditional Japanese judo, whereas you have to be more careful with that, in my opinion. But yeah, man, it's like it's part of the game now. You're becoming a more well-rounded athlete, and it seems like that's your goal. So
you know who actually inspired me a lot to do both is Dave Camarillo out in Cali. He's the head owner of Gorilla BJJ. Mm-hmm. And this guy is just a unit. He was actually on Emily Kwok's podcast recently. And he was talking about how judo and jiu-jitsu really complement each other. And it's just like learning how to modify one to fit the other. I'm not going to lie to you. There's a lot of judo tournaments where you'll see the jiu-jitsu brain click in, especially the minute I hit the ground and it's not an ippon and I flip them over and I pin them. I immediately think get to mount. And that actually cost me my black belt match. I'm not a black belt. I'm a green belt in judo, but I compete in the brown and the black belt level because at this point, there's no point in me jumping in with white belts, right? Like it's
ego
kind of sandbagging.
Yeah.
I am the evil judoka in that sense. But
do people go like, what? But you have a green belt. What are you doing here?
I did hear somebody in the back go, I didn't realize that they like green belts in the black belt division.
Yeah.
And then somebody on my team goes, yeah, but she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. So she can handle herself.
Ashiwaza coming your way.
All of it, all the Nawaza. Well, you can't armbar in the novice division. So that's why I go to brown and black. So if I ever end up in closed guard, I can snap the armbar.
I'm familiar with judo, but I'm not familiar with. I only watch like the Olympic level matches, and I've never looked up the rules. I just see like as soon as somebody's shoulders hit the mat, it's a point. But then sometimes I see them flip them, and they'll usually do like like a hip toss or something like that. But then they go straight to an arm bar because like the guy's bridging so hard. So like, what's the point? You just want to pin them real quick, right?
So like Ippon is the full point. That's when you win. That's when they go like this, right? Wazari is half a point. That's if anything other than the shoulder lands on the mat. So if let's say I throw you, you land on your ribs and you roll back to your forward, your front, I'd get half a point. And if I successfully pin you after the half point, then I'd get the full Ippon. So a pin is technically full points, but if you already did the work by throwing them and then they land on their side and then you pin them, then you'll get the full point.
So the point of the Jujigatami is to pin them. It's not even to do an arm lock because they can't tap, or
you can tap. I mean, you can do arm locks, you can do submissions, right? Like in my Jigori Kano book, there's like all different types of subs that you can do as long as you tap. If you tap, you get if your opponent taps, you get the automatic win.
Okay.
So a lot of people, if they see the opportunity for the armbar, because Newaza escapes aren't really a thing. In judo, so Newaza, guys, is like groundwork, but for those of you who don't know, but Newaza escapes aren't really like a thing. So if somebody sees an opportunity for an arm, they'll go for it, or a bow and arrow choke, they'll go for it. Not many people know how to defend very well on the ground.
So if there's back exposure, or you get the half a point and then pin them, the fight, is that match completely over, or you fight again for more points? The only way a match ends is through a submission?
It's through an Ippon. So it's either a full throw or a half throw and then a pin, or
and
a
that
half
match
throw.
is completely over. That's it.
Yeah,
You beat them.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
on to the
So,
next.
on to the next. Or if, let's say, like I get the Wazari, which is the half point, right? If I throw somebody and I get the Wazari and they turtle up and the ref counts to 10 seconds, and if nothing happens, they stand us back up and then we start on our feet again.
Yeah.
How long do you have to work for a submission? If you've gotten your half a point, you haven't pinned them. Is there if you're working for a submission, is that timed, or no? You can work as long as you can.
The ref usually gives you up to 10 seconds to do something, which isn't a lot of time. If you think
to finish,
and the matches are only 4 minutes. So if let's say I got the Wazari, I got a half point, and I'm continuing and I'm fighting really hard, and I can't get an Ippon or I can't get the pin, because I have the Wazari and my opponent doesn't have any points, I will win the match.
By avantage.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's our advantage
today.
Yeah, that's the advantage right there. So
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at NeutralZoneClean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible Nogi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
No, I was gonna ask, what's your favorite entry from judo that you use in jiu-jitsu?
The belt grab, because I get to hold onto the belt as long as I can in jiu-jitsu. In judo, I only have 3 seconds so long as I'm attacking.
So is that over the back?
Over the back with the belt. So I'll break their posture down, and then I grab the belt and I load them into my hip, into my Ken-Ken Uchimata. Ken-Ken is like a hopping Uchimata.
It's over the head.
And they go for a ride.
They go for a ride, and I land right on them, right into side control.
Yeah. You don't have to be careful about spiking the head there?
You just tuck and roll. Like, honestly, when I do it, I load them onto the hips so much that they'll roll forward. And if they don't roll in my momentum and their momentum together, it's just going to push us forward.
That's more of a corkscrew than a flip.
Yeah.
So it's better. It's like a quarter, an illusion.
But I've been toying around with this new one. It's called the hammer throw.
Oh, boy.
So Jack Unesca, guys, remember this name, okay? Future Olympian, along with his older brother, Nick. But Jack and I are a little bit closer. We're like a little bit friendlier. But Jack was showing this one movement in class called like the hammer throw. And man, you feel like a Greek god when you do this. It's like you literally grab their lapel, shift and move their weight this way, and then you just grab the other side of the lapel and just smash them over.
What?
What's his name just did it? Frey from Germany just did it in the under 100 kilo division at Worlds.
Send me the
link. The guy was like this, like taunting Frey, and Frey just went wham, boom. It was awesome. So I'm learning that. I'm playing around with that. I can hit it on people my size and smaller. My bigger friends, I'm working not to like dislocate a shoulder to do it, but yeah.
Is judo in any way, shape, or form like jiu-jitsu in that people get started when they're older, or is it a much younger person's game?
I have classmates as young as like 5, and I have classmates as old as like in their 70s.
Yeah.
So it really depends on your personal body, like how you take care of yourself. Like the boys, the UNESCO boys, they've been training ever since they could probably walk. So like, you know, they're obviously in a lot better shape than people that just start. But I have even like in my rank class, like I have a couple of my friends who are like between 25 and 35, and we're all starting around the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are those mats any softer than the jiu-jitsu mats? No.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks when the big guy gets the throw.
Yeah.
We have this giant 6'6" Japanese man. He goes by the name Sakiman. He's a massive human being. And like one of my first weeks, he like yeeted me into the mat, and everyone just heard like pop, and I was like, oh my god, I see my ancestors. Like, this is insane. I was just laying there for a second. I'm like, did I flatline?
You said he goes by that name. Is there a meaning? Do you know the meaning of the name?
Yeah, so he's a high-end sake dealer. So him and his group of guys.
Sake-man.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you actually look them up on Instagram, it's called Sakiman. And he's Sakiman Blue. But the guy's so great, man. Like at every major like picnic that we have, he always brings his like batch of sake.
Warm
and,
sake or cold sake?
Cold sake.
Yeah.
He goes warm sake. Warm sake is if sake bad.
It's sucky. It's sucky sake.
Yes, sucky sake.
I have a non-judo, non-jiu-jitsu question. So, Lydia Coleman or Bergamasco, you recently got married?
Yes.
And it's now Bergamasco?
Yes.
Okay. Are you going to be changing your Instagram handle? No, can't do it.
Too much work. Too much work.
Too much.
You'll still get the traffic. I think they still do it that way. If you change it, like somebody puts in yours, you'll get that traffic for a while.
I know. But I've been Lydia Coleman for 32 years, and I just been Lydia Bergamasco for the last year. So
let it take hold a little bit longer.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
Just let it ride.
Use the dash. Use the dash.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm legally
Hold on.
Bergamasco.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
that was one of the arguments I had with my wife. My wife didn't want to let go of her last name. Then it was like hyphen, and I said, "Look, this is the one thing that I want. You got everything else you want, all the traditional stuff. This is the one thing I want. Just the name change."
Really?
Yeah, I know.
I could honestly care less.
Yeah. No, I mean, that was the one
my last
traditional
name-
thing I wanted. Got married when I was older. I didn't get married until
No,
my
I feel you.
40s.
I get it.
It was just that was it. I didn't ask for a lot. This is the one.
Dude, my
thing I wanted
wife
to
my
do,
wife said it was such a pain in the butt
to change the name.
because the passport, the license, the social security card, all your billings for everything.
Yeah,
It's
she
like
still goes through that.
It's like
She's got emails that still say her old last name.
yeah, bro. And she had to learn how to say my last name.
I was gonna say Lequerica.
Yeah.
How was that for a non-Hispanic person to take on that name? Was it difficult for her?
There's not a lot of brown sugar in Toledo, Ohio, where I met her. So she was open to the idea of an ethnic last name because it was
stand out.
exotic. You know what I mean?
How does she say that? Does she say it with the?
Here's the best part. Her mother-in-law, right, Pam? My mother-in-law. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Pam, love her to death. What's up, Pam? I know you'll never watch this. And she still doesn't even say it. Like she tries, but she just calls us the clickety clacks instead of.
That's great.
Because she can't say. Can't get close to say.
Yeah.
How does your wife say it though? Does your wife?
She says like she cheats it.
Does she say it with the little Spanish
No,
accent?
I taught her how to cheat it.
Lequerica.
No, she's like she says Lecarica
Lequerica.
instead of Lecarica, but like she says Lecarica. My kids don't know how to say their last names.
Yeah. My sister is. I'll say her last name is Alicia, like Puerto Rican last name, and they Americanize it. The kids say Alicia.
Yeah,
Like they let them Americanize it.
Yeah, there you go.
Then you go from Coleman to Bergamasco.
I mean, my mom went from Neng to Coleman, so I mean, like, there's always been like, but like,
Coleman's got a sweet spot in my heart. All my camping gear.
I was just gonna say that.
man, I wish I could sit here and play off like I'm the heiress to Coleman camping gear, but
Yeah, right.
when you see the Walmart brand Ozark Trail compared to Coleman, you're like, I'm gonna go with great value.
Yeah.
So, recently married, right? Oh, you just said it before. I'm sorry.
Our year is coming up in 17 days.
Hey,
Congratulations!
like
Happy
you guys get married on
Thank you,
Halloween?
thank you. The day before. So I was supposed to be a Halloween bride. So for those of you who don't know me, I am a huge Halloween fan, like haunted houses, like witchy stories, spell stuff. Like I'm into that whole
You
entire.
and my
like,
wife would
spooky
get
TikTok.
along. I have to
That's
watch.
perfect.
I have to watch scary movies this whole month. I'm not allowed to watch anything else. I'm not a scary movie guy, but
I know the answer because I'm looking at the picture. I have your Instagram on my screen. When you said, I was like, wait a minute, did she wear something crazy? But I remembered that I had seen this. Were you looking to wear something like crazy instead of a traditional wedding dress?
So I wanted to wear something crazy, but my mom's from Hong Kong. And she said to me, she goes, listen, you can't go too crazy because you still have our traditions and you have to like respect the superstition of a wedding. Like you have to have like a wedding dress. But she goes, your third dress can be whatever it wants to be. So I go, okay, cool. I told her I want to wear a black dress. And she goes, absolutely the hell not. You're not. No.
So third
Not wearing a
dress,
black
so
dress.
it's the wedding dress and then like a reception dress and then like a casual.
So-
Is that how it would go?
No. So it's my ball gown, my Chinese traditional
Oh,
to cut the cake. Because, you know, when you cut the cake, it's like really pretty and it's very shiny.
Okay.
And my third dress is just a party for the rest of the night.
reception.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
This is Chinese culture.
Yeah, that's old school Chinese traditional
Got
weddings. Yeah. Nowadays, brides just do like one or two dresses, or like they'll just do two dresses and that call it a day. But I wanted to respect what my mom did.
That's dope.
And because my parents had a really beautiful wedding, even though it was like a very like typical 80s wedding. Like my mom had like the big hair and like the shoulder stuff going on, but she changed 3 times. And I said, listen, my mom changed, I'm going to change. So, yes, I wanted to do like a black dress. I want to do like a Morticia Adams thing. And she goes, no. She goes, can you just have fun with it? I said, fine. So I picked this giant cupcake pink dress. If you look at my Instagram, it's this giant dress. It was so heavy that at the end of the night, it like the bone, because all my dresses are corset back. Because I swam and I do jiu-jitsu, I have a big back. So zippers just don't work on me at all. So I had to do like a corset back dress. And by the end of the night, this gown was so heavy that it had imprints of like the corset boning in my ribs. I was like, man, I'm so glad that I get to wear t-shirts again.
I got married on Norwegian Cruise Lines. We cruised, our family cruised, so we like invited everybody that cruised, and we went. So she had the second dress, but with Norwegian, they only allow one wedding. They do vow renewals, and they can do other vow renewals, but you're allowed one wedding, new wedding on the boat at any. And I was, all right, this is cool. They treated her so good, and like we would just be like walking somewhere, and it was just like, she would not take that dress off. She was just like, I am not changing this I'm not changing this dress. They treated her. She was the queen of that cruise, and we had like a personal, like we had somebody assigned to us that was just like
concierge
our assistant the entire cruise. Any place we went, we cut the line. They got us front row seats in any.
You got a Disney pass?
Treated her like, yeah, man. It was amazing,
awesome.
And she wanted to wear the dress again. I was just like, okay, take it easy. You can't do that again. But it was amazing. She loved it. But hey, we had a good time. It was fun. But like people sometimes when I tell, hey, I got married on a cruise, they're like, that's like going to Vegas. I'm like, no, you don't understand. It was amazing. We had our best friends and family around for 7 days.
That's
and we just
awesome.
like got to drink every night with people that I don't get to see a lot. My best friends from New York. It was amazing. It was perfect for us. We didn't want like we were both older at the time. We didn't want to have like this like the.
You were technically
we weren't looking
you were
for the
both
traditional
technically
shit. But
younger.
we both had a kid already. Like it was just like we wanted to do it completely non-traditional. So
Dope.
it was good. Let's talk about girls and geese.
Sure.
Tell me about it.
Why are you doing this?
Why?
No, why? No, why? Milton just like gave you like
Why?
all the
I don't
fingers.
know. I don't know. I know this like giving directions so nobody else speaks.
It's the Madonna vibe.
I gotcha.
That's why.
I thought you were going
I
to
think
tell
you
me
just
penny
make sure
stocks.
that nobody else talks while I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. Everybody shut up. Tell me about Girls and Geese.
So Girls and Geese, for people who don't know, it's a nonprofit organization that brings women of jiu-jitsu together, and they do these seminars. It's a donation-based seminar, and I am blessed to share it with my professor, Fiona. That's going to be on October 23rd, and that's actually the day after my Hammer Challenge super fight, which is also in the same spot. So I'm going to be driving back and forth a little bit.
Oof.
But I'm really excited for it. It's a really good opportunity. It's something that I never had when I started out, and I think it's such a blessing to give back to the female community to show, hey, not one, but two active and competitive female black belts are going to be showing you some techniques and just rolling and just having a lot of fun.
So you just said I share it with. Are you an owner? Did you start that? When you say I shared it, what did you mean?
Oh, no. I'm not an owner.
Oh, okay.
At all. It's a separate company.
Okay.
Girls and Geese, it has been around, I think, for a bit as well. But they just do these seminars all over the country. Mm-hmm. And they always ask local female black belts or local female upper belts to show and stuff. And it started with me constantly tagging them in everything I do. Just saying, hey, look at me.
We call that stalking.
Always. And they eventually reached out saying, hey, do you want to do a technique of the week? And I said, yes, I do want to do a technique of the week. And then I entered that, and they were like, we're doing an event in New Jersey. We asked Fiona to do the event. Would you like to co-teach or co-coach? And I said, absolutely. Yeah, it's great. Like Fee and I are such a really great team together to begin with. So just to have an opportunity to teach with her would be great.
Very cool. Very cool.
Where do you think like female jiu-jitsu is now? Because like when a lot of people talk about, jiu-jitsu being like in its infancy, even just coming to America, that's like late 90s, early 2000s. You could still consider pretty early, Pioneer would be like early 90s, 91, 92, around there. I mean, you've been around 10 years, so like that's definitely not mainstream UFC. Everybody knows, like, it was even just UFC fans pretty much knew about jiu-jitsu because of the Gracie Challenge. But like female jiu-jitsu, the catalyst, which got a lot of females to do MMA and everything else, was also, Ronda Rousey coming in and making it. But like, how do you feel where female jiu-jitsu is now, and how do you feel like with this trajectory? Like, do you think it's still going way up, or do you think it's plateaued, or what needs to change, or like just your feelings generally?
So in general, I feel that from where I've come, it's definitely a huge increase. This year in Worlds, I had 9 women in my division. There was not a single division where women only had 2 fights in the Master 1 category at Worlds, which to me is great because I came from an environment where the bigger you were, and like what weight was, not name wise, just weight, but the heavier you were, the less opponents you had. So me seeing 9 names in medium heavy, and then looking at heavyweight and seeing 7 or 8 names there, and then at super heavy there were even 6. This was giving people a chance that I never saw before at the brown belt level, right? The black belt level, forget about it. It was packed. You know, like it's amazing to see the growth. Being at a gym where that's female run, our women's classes, we average between 20 to 25 women per women's class. Enrolled right now at Fiona's gym at Notorious, we have 34 women. 35. I'm sorry. We just had another one join.
What do you think?
And just watching the growth of that is so like breathtaking, you know, it's amazing. I think in the future, and also in the kids classes, it's all little girls.
Yeah, it's a lot of little girls.
All little girls. And I think with what's going on in our world, and especially within our own community, right? I think it's imperative for young women as young as like 7 or 8 years old to learn how to defend themselves, to learn how to forcefully say no if you're put in an awkward situation.
Right. I did an interview on a podcast yesterday. I was the guest, and it turned out that he's a white belt. The host of that podcast was a white belt. I didn't know I thought we were going to be talking about marketing and heart attacks and all the other things in my life. I didn't know we were going to be talking about jiu-jitsu, to be honest. And he tells me he's a white belt, and the whole podcast was about jiu-jitsu. And he was telling me, because he's a snowbird, right? So he comes up, he's actually from Canada and comes down to Florida, and he's in Tampa, and he was asking me like, it was a subject on the podcast, what do you think makes a good gym? Because he's looking for himself. Like, I don't know where to go. He's been training for a year, and this is the first time I believe he's come down as a snowbird out of the 2 years that he's done it, where he's been a jiu-jitsu practitioner. He's like, where should I go? You know, what's the, what criteria should I be looking at? And I said, for me, I tell anybody, you should be looking at a school that has a good female presence. Coaches.
That's a red flag, man.
Owners, coaches, what's that?
That's a red flag. Like, if you don't see, if there's a family and like the family doesn't train.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in a school, we met at a school where it's a husband-wife team. We have a huge female presence. She's a world champ. And I just told him, I said, that's the mark of a good school for me, that there's a good mix of people. But the fact that there's a female presence is, I think, really important. If you're somebody who wants to bring your wife, or do you have kids? And that's something that stands out for me. As an older player myself, like, okay, that's not as important for me. But when people are asking me about what to look for, that's what I'm telling them. I think it's just really, again, what you just said. You got to kind of be careful. This is a crazy world. A lot of things have happened in the jiu-jitsu community in the last couple of years, and that to me is a mark of a good gym. Not just owners, but like coaches.
Yeah. And
seeing girls of all ages on the mat. After all that craziness happened, like even in my school, before that happened, we started training in separate rooms. Before all the craziness happened, they started training in separate rooms. It was just something they started to do. Really because the coach, Sophia Amarante, she wanted to like create this little group of killers, and she got those women, and now they're like, we got a couple of goals, more than a couple of goals at World Masters.
Well, Sophia Amarante is a adults champion, and now she's like
doing the Masters,
7 or 8 time
Yeah.
She would do both. She would be a master. She would do the Masters.
She said I just talked to her last night. She's just doing Masters. She's like, I'm just doing Masters.
Yeah, she left her belt on the mat.
But anyway, that's the mark of a good school to me. I'm not saying that a all male school isn't bad. Again, as an older guy, I feel comfortable going to a school with all just men. But if I'm giving somebody advice, I'm telling them that's something that you should look out for, that there are men and women. I think it's just a different atmosphere. And again, if you have kids and you want to bring kids, I would not be somebody that's going to put my kid on the mat. Like you said, you went even at 22, you said it was like all men and they were all huge, right? Were there any women when you started on that mat that day?
Nope.
Right. I mean,
None.
right there. I mean, that's like back then it was just like, that's all you're going to find. Now it's just like, no, you know, take your time, find a good school, take everybody's free first week, you know, take that free week and really figure it out. And
what tips do you have for females starting jiu-jitsu in terms of like a good gym environment, things to look out for, you know, because like even just because somebody is really good at jiu-jitsu doesn't mean they're a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My biggest red flag is when I'm rolling with someone and all of a sudden I feel that they're putting the wrath of God on me. I want ladies out there, if you're listening, tell them, take a minute, take a pause, be like, listen, if we're going to continue the roll this way and you're going to use 100% of your strength, I'm not going to train with you.
And you're specifically talking about a male, female, right? You're the female with rolling with a male, just to say it out loud.
Yes. So, you know, I've had experiences where, you know, like I said, I'm not a small girl. I'm 5'9". I fight medium heavy. So that's 163.5 in the gi. I came down from heavyweight, which is 175. And, you know, I've been in situations where I would have a guy who's like 190 pounds, like going crazy on me. And I say, hey, listen, like, take it easy, man. Like, we're just trying to have fun. If you win practice, that doesn't mean you're like, great. You're not trying to win practice.
We talked about that the last episode. We talked about it at my school this week. My coach actually pointed at me because I had reposted something. He says, what was it that you reposted? You know, stop trying to win practice. That's not what this is.
Exactly.
It's an ego boost for you. That's great. But I have to be honest. I mean, I didn't get to that place till I was like in purple, you know, midway through my purple belt. You know, I was still going in there, but the mentality in the gym was, you know, like, again, everybody was trying to win. Not everybody, maybe that's maybe too much. Everybody's trying to win. Nobody wants to lose.
No,
but you know what? The mixing the girls into the class, it definitely. I know for me, when I first got to that school, I was rolling with women. They had the choice to roll with that, you know, be like, hey, do you want to roll? And I had to realize, okay, I am 240 plus pounds rolling with somebody that's 125, 140 pounds.
Literal bull in a china shop.
I had to like learn how to, okay, I'm not like bringing the wrath of God down here on this knee on belly, you know, or even like, okay, get up on my knees a little bit higher in side control. Like, I don't have to completely squish them. But I mean, it made me a more gentle person. And now at brown belt, I do, like, even when I'm rolling with somebody, you know, I pull guard if they're new, let them work. What am I going to do? Get on top of them and crush them and make them miserable.
It doesn't make sense.
They don't want to come back, or they start to resent rolling with me and they only want to roll with people they can beat. Well, I give them the opportunity. Again, I've said this on multiple episodes. George Piro said this, like we had a guest on who says, you know, I roll just above their level, right? If they're white belt, I'm right here, you know, white belt, 2 stripes, blue belt. Like, I'm not going to kill them. I'm going to make them work, but you know, I'm not going to let them kill me, but I'm going to just roll.
He also said when he was if he's in competition mode, he won't even roll with people like that.
Yeah, then it's like I'm rolling with people that are going to are crushing me.
I kind of want to hop on that train too, because I've had the, I guess if you want to call it a pleasure of switching schools. I'm like on my 3rd school, and I've always been, even as a white belt, I used to talk to him and I would go, bro, I want to go to like a bunch of schools. I don't get this whole weird stigma thing. Like I told him, didn't I tell you I wanted to go to 30 schools?
The crayons, like the you know, traveling to schools.
You can view it that way.
Getting in trouble.
Yeah. You can view it that way.
It's gone. I think that's totally gone. You're only going to get an old school instructor that's going to get mad, or you've got to ask for permission.
I am not Marcus Buchecha. I'm not Leandro Lowe.
No, but it's I think it's gone for everybody. I mean, do you agree? Like
I agree. I mean,
white belts and purple belts in your school, can they travel and not get a side eye when they come in? Right?
Yeah, why not? The thing is this, it's a market, right? So you're a consumer. What we were talking about, like marketing and all that stuff. And
it's a business.
Whatnot. At the end of the day, yeah, you're right. It's a business. It's money in your pocket. If all of a sudden all my white belts are cross training somewhere else, then I'd have to question my curriculum and my teachers. Mm-hmm. But if it just happens to be an environment, like we're getting an influx of girls from this other gym recently, maybe they just want an environment with more women. That's it. It's nothing to like really overthink. And like, you know, the other owner knows that and they're cool and it's fine. You know, like I always tell people, I'm like, listen, I've gotten my belt from each of my color belts is from a different instructor, because that's my way of saying I can do better. I'm striving to do a lot better, you know? So strive to be better. Go to your 30 schools. No, make it 35 schools. Like, really strive to get the best training you can get. And if you find a little pocket that you fit in, stay there. That if that's like your tribe, your people, then stay there. Like I walked into Notorious and I've known Fee forever because she and I always competed around the same time. She and I are always coaching. I've known her forever, like she has some time over me. She's a 2-stripe black belt. And, I walked into Notorious. I had a situation at my other academy where I was not welcome there anymore. And it was just a really bad situation. I told her and I was fully transparent. I'm like, listen, these are my goals. And I think you're the perfect person for me to achieve these goals. And she goes, cool, let's do it. And in the 6 months I've been with Fiona, I only lost one match and it was my finals at Worlds. So I found my tribe. I found my little niche and, just don't stop training. I still cross train.
I was going to ask, you still go to other gyms?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. I still cross train. Yeah. Like I'll let her know. I'll be like, hey, my friend asked me to do class. Like my friend asked me to teach, or hey, one of my buddies is doing an open mat. I'm going to head over there. And she'll be like, oh, yeah, cool.
I know a female. I was going to say, I know a female that cross trains at our gym because there's not a lot of ladies to have high level, no gi competition, like type of training. And then we have, females that are relatively her size and at her skill level and above her skill level, which is hard to find for a high level female. So it's like, that's such a good.
Good. Finish it.
No, I'm just saying that's like, it's, if you have goals and your goals are to compete and get better at competing, you need resources to do that.
I know when I started, this June will be nine years, I believe I've been training. When I started, I started with a family friend who was opening a gym. We traded marketing I never paid him a dime for the 2 years I was there. I did the marketing, did print, pass out flyers. Like I handled all that stuff for him. And I remember in the beginning, he'd be like, yeah, I don't know why he was telling me this because I didn't know any better, but he was just like, yeah, no politics. I'm like, what politics? What are you talking about? This is the first time I've trained in a jiu-jitsu gym. I didn't understand it. Oh, it's, I don't like to get caught up in the bullshit. And every coach that I've ever heard say that is the person that gets caught up in the bullshit. Like there's always the like, okay, don't train here. I don't like this guy. I don't like that guy. And I think that now, like 9 years later, we have tons of people that come in from tons of schools. They're welcome on a weekend. We don't know them sometimes, and they come in and the coach talks to them a little bit. They come on the mat. I think for the most part, that whole thing about being a creonche is gone. I think you can get away. I didn't feel comfortable just going to train somebody else until like I was at purple belt and a little higher. Like if I was going to train somebody else, I would say something before. Hey, I'm going to be over here at the school. Maybe just in conversation, not permission, just maybe in conversation, because I didn't want him to see me in a social media pic and be like, what is he doing over there? Is he still here with me?
Yeah.
And did he leave? It was out of respect, not to get permission, because we've talked about it before when somebody would comment like, I'm a grown man, I don't need permission. It's not permission, it's respect. So I don't mind. I still don't mind saying, hey, I'm going to be over here training.
I'm not asking for permission.
But I don't ask now. I don't even ask. I don't ask. I don't mention. I just think it's just like, great, you got more jiu-jitsu in. Awesome. Bring it back. Or, I don't know necessarily like teach me what you've learned, but hey, good. You've furthered your jiu-jitsu. I hope, you're not, doesn't mean I'm leaving.
Yeah.
I think that's the world we're in. People
we could
recognize cross-training is important.
High-level female professional athlete, Kendall Rusing, right?
Yeah.
Gracie Baja forever.
Yeah.
And then, it's happening.
You can say Daisy Fresh,
well,
right?
what I'm saying is it's happening at the professional level.
Yeah.
And the hobbyists look at the professionals. So it's like, it's a natural progression.
Absolutely.
And you're talking about even the Danaher Death Squad split up.
Yeah.
Whether that be I'm in the middle of listening to the Lex Friedman interview, but like, whether that be
why
because of why or whatever, but like, it's like, it's happening at the professional level. Now, if professionals are doing something, it's to be better at what they're doing. It's not like a mistake.
Kind of gives everybody else permission to do it though, too, is what you're saying.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that when professionals do something like F1, right? F1 racing, when those guys make a change on the vehicle that increases the performance, if Ferrari does it,
everyone's gonna
and Honda doesn't do it, and Audi doesn't do it, and you know what I'm saying? McLaren doesn't do it. Like, okay.
Why do you have to bring Ferrari into this?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't like Ferrari? Don't like
I'm a
it.
Red Bull fan,
Okay,
but
there you
I
go.
just pity.
They use Honda engines, don't they?
I think they're using last year's Mercedes to
Alright.
race. My husband's a huge F1 guy, so like he's upstairs. He's not allowed down here.
Yeah.
I told him, I'm like, I'm doing a podcast. You stay upstairs. So he's editing
Does he have a
photos.
simulator up there?
He does in his computer.
And that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's fine. He's like, yeah, okay.
All right,
He's fine.
I want to jump into some of our listener questions. So we got a bunch. Let's just hit them one by one. Let's see here. This is Science and Curves. I don't know if you know some of these. I think these are almost all girls, which is awesome. How do you know when you're ready for competition or even if you should compete? That's Science and Curves. Her name is, let me give out her name too. Sorry.
Just doxing her, huh?
That is Anna Ramirez. Do you know Anna?
She's my student for privates.
There
Yeah.
you go.
It's hard to say, right? I've always been a competitive person. Even in judo, 3 weeks into judo, I was like, yeah, I registered for a tournament. So it's hard to say. It just depends on how you feel. If you feel that you want to try a competition, go local, try a Naga, try a grappling industry, somewhere where you know everyone is at the same level, right? And then learn from there. I treat competition as a learning curve. That's why I do it so often. And also I love it. But I treat it as a way to learn new things about myself. Like if I got tapped out or if this person almost broke something, how can I improve myself to never get stuck there? So Anna, we can definitely talk about this next Wednesday when I see you, or whenever we go over our lesson. Just if you want to just test the waters, do a local tournament, see where you are, and even if that means you never do it again, at least you tried.
Yeah.
Do you at your gym, at your academy, do people, I don't want to say get pushed, but like are you really encouraging competing? Like,
Fiona does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it required for any, I'm sure it's not. Is it required for belt promotions or anything like that?
No, I believe Fee has a really good system on who competes. Like if she sees somebody in class who's like a natural aggressor, a natural person who just takes charge of the role and just, trains smart with people, then she'll just push them to compete. Like we have an 80-20 split of hobbyists and competitors. 80% of us basically compete. I think Worlds we rolled in with like 11 masters competitors, which I think is huge for a small school. And we also had a handful of kids do Jiu-Jitsu Con kids. At any of the Men of War super fights, we have like 10 to 15 people on the card.
Now you mentioned this young lady she does privates with you. Are you coaching at your school as well?
I'm only subbing right now.
Okay.
I'm focusing more on finishing the year as a competitor. I told Fee that. I said, listen, like I spent so much time teaching at the other academy I was at for the last 2 years. I think it's time for me to just buckle down and just really pushing myself at the highest level right now.
Okay.
What are the goals? If you don't mind.
2 podiums, 2 belts in the same year.
You're talking about judo and jiu-jitsu?
No, I'm talking about jiu-jitsu. I got silver at Brown.
Okay.
So I'm going to Nogi Worlds. I want to at least podium at Nogi Worlds at black belt. So it's 2 podiums, 2 belts in the same year.
I got it. I was wondering about the 2 belts thing. I was
like, wait, what does she mean? I'm like,
because I know, you were brown earlier, and then
start going like this,
Yeah, champ.
Imagine.
Yeah.
So we have another question from her. I think this is an interesting one. As a taller person, which techniques do you prefer in both BJJ and in judo? Do you have preferences?
Oh, absolutely. Whatever does not allow me to drop down to my knees or to shoot in. This is a minor argument that I always have with Fee. Fee's a huge wrestle person, right? She's also like 5'3" and 120 pounds. So she's small. I'm not small. So for me to shoot, I feel like I'm wasting time dropping down and just shooting in. For the drop sayos, like if I'm not careful, someone's going to climb on my back. Whatever I do to prevent dropping or changing levels that extremely, for me, I feel like is convenient. I have a lot of upper body strength, so I can go for body locks. I can go for uranagis. This is Clovis. I practice my uranagis on him. He's a 120-pound dummy.
Did you say Clovis?
Clovis.
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 Is there a
Clovis.
meaning behind that name?
No, we just received him in a box that looked like a coffin one day, and I'm like, this is Clovis.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I'm like, my neighbors think we killed somebody. Great. I'm gonna have cops at my house. But for me, I work that upper body strength and I use the body lock. We're taller. It's a height advantage. Utilize it.
Do you cut down to your weight for your well, let me start with, let me kind of take a step back and go. I think there's a big argument, especially like in the UFC. I hate when people cut and then they're like eating like a banana after they weigh in because they have no energy. I think it's ridiculous. Are you somebody that cuts weight, or do you cut a lot of weight to get down into, you said medium heavy?
So I wanted to lose weight. During COVID, I gained up. I was almost 182 pounds when I after COVID. And I said to myself, I can't believe I got here and I'm going to go back. So I finished my master's in nutrition and I utilized what I learned in school to rearrange a diet for myself and for my husband, Leo. And I lost the weight naturally. And the weight that I cut, it's just me doing intermittent fasting. I still eat meals. I still have about 1,000 calories to 1,200 calories a day while I'm cutting weight. And I just do a lot of cardio and I do a lot of conditioning and the weight just falls right off.
Yeah. How about,
you have to do it smart.
When people come to you for advice on something like that, do you tell them like, no, listen, compete at, you're walking around weight or close to it? Or do you have people around you that are like, no, I've got to cut, 10, 15 pounds, men and women?
If you're a white belt, it's your first tournament.
Yeah, don't cut weight, please.
Yeah,
don't
my coach told me not to, and I tried, and I still wound up. Nobody was I was the only old guy at my weight, and they put me with a bunch of kids. Well, they had guys half my age, and I got gold.
Yeah.
Old man
Double
strength.
golded
F them
against
kids.
these kids.
Yeah.
My advice for all white, blue, and even early purples out there, please don't cut weight. It's not worth it at this level because you're going to get hurt or you're going to get really sick and it's going to screw you up. I've always floated between medium heavy and heavy, and that's only 2 pounds.
Yeah.
For me, like I'm at the top end of medium heavy and I'm at the smaller end of heavy. Like there's times where I walked in on the scale at heavyweight at 165 pounds with my gi on. That's 1.5 pounds away from medium heavy. So it's like, just don't do it. It's not worth it. Like if you really want to cut weight and you're really close to the lower weight class, stop eating junk food for 2 weeks. Yeah. Or if like, hey, it's October and I'm competing in December, start now. Start eating clean now. Replace a couple of your junk meals with like fruit, or replace your candy cravings with like some fruit or some like natural juice or something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Just be smart about your weight. For judo, I do cut down a lot. I go down to 153 pounds, but that's because it's a day before weigh-in. And that's without the gi. Yeah. I can weigh in my compression shorts and in my sports bra. And then I can I have over 24 hours to rehydrate and to refuel.
It's like MMA
so like
style.
So I just do like a big water cut leading up to it. I don't starve myself or anything. I just water load and I just eat my normal diet. And then I just do like a big water load, which I'm not going to disclose because I don't want anyone following this. But I do like a huge water loading program that has always worked for me for day before weigh-in. And I lose it completely all, weigh in, and then that's it.
Yep. That makes sense. Yeah, that IBJJF bullpen situation where people are in their friggin'...
That needs to change.
Yeah.
Like, we're in 2022. We have to change that. Even tournaments like Grappling Industries, they open their doors at 7:30 in the morning, and they let you weigh in at 7:30.
I think like, that's the IBJJF's way of preventing people from cutting weight. And then the elite know how to do it and fight through it. And the novice are more encouraged by a wise, sage professional to be like, hey man, fight at your weight, because you're not him. You're not Michael Musumeci, who's literally cutting like 20 pounds. Yeah, shaved his head to make weight.
Yep. Yeah, when I finally was like, yeah, this cutting weight is just ridiculous. I don't want to say the person's name, but it was somebody that we trained with. He used to coach with us. His wife, she was cutting weight at white belt, and we're sitting there. We're at the Miami Open. She's miserable. She can't, like, she's waiting for her to get started to weigh in, to do everything. She's sitting there. She's like miserable. And then she weighs in and then she has a banana and she gets submitted like in just a minute or two. Not even. It's like all this time, all the cutting weight, that was ridiculous. Like you could have been more comfortable, happier, and just been one weight class up and still had the same experience. Maybe you would have done better because you weren't weak and you hadn't starved yourself.
I feel like this is a necessary lesson that everybody, this is like the white belt. Like I remember being a retarded white belt, even though I started doing jiu-jitsu.
Not politically correct.
I don't care. Retarded. And, like
I thought white belt wasn't politically correct.
And
you could have just said white belt, same
gender
thing.
neutral. And so, but like I remember making stupid decisions, and I started jiu-jitsu as an adult with like wrestling experience and all this stuff. I didn't go like full spaz, but I did make like stupid white belt mistakes that I feel like you just have to learn these lessons. When I did my first
I don't disagree.
My first competition, I was like, I cut weight in wrestling, I cut weight in this.
Yeah.
And I was
you have a little more experience with it too, and
but it was still stupid because like the format, like Lydia was saying, it's like you weigh in, you're waiting all day, or like you said too, like you're waiting all day. And then, like, you get the bullpen, you got 15 minutes to get something. That's not a good position to be in.
My first tournament, my coach told me not to. I didn't listen to him. I tried to cut weight, and then it was just like right out the door because there was just nobody at my weight.
Yeah,
I didn't have to cut. I could have been heavier, and they put me with guys like a little bit smaller than me, but there was just a group of guys that were younger, and I wound up fighting them, and I could have not had to worry about eating and cutting weight, just worry about my jiu-jitsu and practicing, and boom, I used to cut weight even my age.
I used to cut weight for parties.
Look good in that shirt.
This weekend coming up, I got to lose 5 pounds.
Next question. We have Yesenia Chimeles. Hope I said her name right. Which belt I should have let you do that one. Which belt promotion was the most memorable to you in BJJ?
Purple.
Purple? Why?
Because up until that point, that was the only belt I felt ready for, to be honest with you. I had gotten silver at Worlds. I came back. I got double gold at BJJ Pro. It was like unheard of for me because I didn't do well in locals like at the time. And I got the $400 check. And I was like, yes, I got my registration and tolls back. And then I started winning all the grappling industries. And then my knee popped out at the New York Fall Open a month before promos. And I still got silver. I lost because as I was passing, my knee popped and I had to do a verbal tap. I had to tap out. So I lost in the finals. And it was just a progression of where my jiu-jitsu was coming from, like when I started in that dirty, damp mat space to one of the most prestigious academies in New York. And I'll never forget when Marcelo's team called me up to get my purple belt, the entire gym cheered. It was just like a moment like, damn, like all y'all watching me. Like,
how long did you train at Marcelo's? Because I'm a huge fan, love him.
Like 3.5 years.
Wow.
Got it.
That was at what belt?
Blue through purple. Yeah.
So you were there with like when Nick Salas and them were there?
Yeah, I used to train with Nick like all the time.
They've been on the show twice now.
Yeah, Nick's been on, and then
Danny
came with them. They have an incredible outlook on jiu-jitsu that I love. I like hearing about people that think that way. Definitely more than I'll call it the new school. I just don't like that old school, like get out there, train when you're hurt, like that. No, like I like that more cerebral approach. No, yeah, I'm hurt. Well, get into the gym, walk, run, get on a cross train. There's other stuff that you can do. Train when you can, roll when you can, get your grappling dummy.
Well, you're
there's other things that you could do when you're hurt. Not roll until you're more hurt.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like you're competing right now, right? So like, are you training to fight off an offender, or are you training to game the system to get more points and have more advantages while expending less energy so you can make it through the bracket with a bigger gas tank? Like, what's
the latter? Like, like honestly, for me right now, I'm just sharpening. Right at this point, I learned. I said this the other day at the judo gym. I was like, guys, like I'm gonna be here like 2 to 3 times a week because I feel like it's important to maximize your effort and maximize your knowledge wherever you are. If you're gonna do something, freaking do it and be the best that you can be, right? I'm not asking you to go out there and win double gold at every comp. Just be who you are, maximize your ability, your knowledge, expand, learning how to get the most points, take advantage of the point system, learning how to play certain games, right? IBJJF, it's a point sport. It really is. Like, that's legit sport jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm ever in a Medusa combat, which I hope not, like, I mean, I do, but I don't, like, but you touch my face, I'm gonna hit you back, and it's not gonna be comfortable. But like, you know, like, there's a situation where you have combat jiu-jitsu where you're getting the hell slapped out of you by someone else your size. You know, it's, to me, like, you have to train to understand the different systems, the different point values, and also listening to yourself, right? I'm not small enough to do beerambolos. I'm not going to train beerambolos. Maybe I'll explain it. Maybe I'll try it, but that's not going to be my game. That's not going to be something I'm going to take to comp with me. I'm going to train to refine my skills so I could be a better competitor.
Yeah, you meant. I think when we spoke, you said something about work. Are you doing jiu-jitsu and judo full time? Do you have a career outside of?
I do have a career outside of judo and jiu-jitsu.
What do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
I am a project coordinator at Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center.
Oh, wow. Is that yeah, right? That's off. That's awesome. Is it something that would you ever walk away from that for jiu-jitsu? Is that, or is these are two things that you would always be able to maintain?
They're definitely two things I can maintain. One relieves the stress of the other. When all that crap drama happens in jiu-jitsu, I have my mapping on flowcharts at work that I can just go into. Like, I have a very type A organizational personality. So, like, if things aren't done a certain way, then I get frustrated and I'll just turn to a different avenue, and that balances each other out. And, you know, I'm very lucky. I have a very great manager who respects my time, who respects my work-life balance, and, you know, approves every single vacation request for comp that I throw his way. Like, I told him, like, hey, I'm taking this time off for Vegas and I'm taking this time off for Worlds. And he goes, okay, cool. As long as you have coverage, I don't care. Go, have a good time. And
you mentioned your husband trains as well. Is it the same thing? He's has a career and he trains jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
How long has he been training? Did you get him into training? Was he training already? Did you meet him on the mats?
No, I did not meet him on the mats. I do not. I really try not to condone dating.
Ooh, that's one of my questions. So, asked and answered.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
So no. So I met him online. We met on Hinge, and I saw him in a picture with the gi, like doing like the. Yeah. I was like, okay, he's cute. Let me go say hey. Let me say hi. Let me slide.
What belt was he wearing?
He wasn't wearing a belt in the photo. It was
okay, I was going to say, was he like a white belt?
He was a white belt.
Yeah.
That's why the picture was like that.
That was about exactly. I'm like, this is false advertising. So when I met him, that was 2019. He had only been training for a little over a year. So he's been training for about 4 years. I got to give him his purple belt at Worlds, which was awesome. Yeah, but watching him grow and watching him develop on the mat is just amazing. He's a big guy. He stands at like 6'4.5", and he's 300 pounds. He's like a big dude. And he also trains judo with me as well. And, you know, we kind of just push each other, which I think is great. You know, it's always good to have like a partner to come home to and be like, hey, I thought today was bullshit, and this is why. You know, well, am I allowed to say bullshit?
Yes.
As an adult?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
I said retarded.
Yes.
Say all the shit you want to say.
Yeah.
So you know, like, I like to come home and I like to vent and I like to work. Like, I'm sitting in my mat space now because I came home from PT and like he had taken up all the kitchen chairs because he's back. He has the robots running right now. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm in my mat space. But I do have an entire mat space where I do my privates, where if I have questions that I want to drill, I drill. I don't just have one dummy. I have two dummies like to train. This is like my.
This is at home. You say you have this mat space in your home.
Yeah, this is my house.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
And we just drill all the time. And it's always great to have someone like that. And I met him before we started training together. Up until COVID, he had his gym, I had my gym. And then COVID happened, and then we united gyms. So now I see him like all the time.
It's good.
Did you see the eyes? You don't have to ask. Did you see your eyes?
It's like what Steve Burns says, right? You don't envision your life after your wedding day. Like, yeah, you think of your wedding day like all the time, your entire life. And then it happens and you don't think about the life after your wedding.
Yeah. I'll just give you a heads up if you ever decide to have children. It's like that too. I don't remember my life before kids.
So
It's BC before children, and then
AC.
Yeah, after children.
No, AD after
AD
death.
after,
'cause, you know.
yeah.
So Anna also had asked, dating in the dojo, yay or nay? How might one handle this as a woman? Do we have more to lose than gain here?
Gym crush.
It really it really depends, right? I know that there's times where it's, especially if they start training young, right? Like you have teenagers at the gym, hormones are all over the place.
Mhm.
As long as you have a sit down with your professor and you're like, listen, we like each other, we're thinking about dating, and the professor sets the boundary, sets the rules. Obviously, couples, I'm not saying go get your permission slip signed from your black belt. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is respect your mat space. When you're on the mat, you're students. When you're off the mat, you can be Romeo and Juliet or Tristan and Isolde, whoever the hell you want to be. But when you're on that mat, you're students, you're teammates. When you're off the mat, be whoever you want. Off the mat, meaning outside the building. I don't need to see you like sucking face like inside the lobby. That's gross.
Damn.
You know,
I'm a
yeah,
PDA guy.
Not for you.
Yeah,
But like,
my wife
it's
hates it.
even awkward for me. Like sometimes my husband will like goof around and try to like grab my hand or like play around me. I'm like, yo, chill, relax. Like
Not
class
here.
is going on right now. Like you gotta like take it easy. So, you know, just communicate. And, you know, unfortunately in this day and age, breakups are inevitable. Just don't make it awkward. And as a woman, I feel like I have the right to date anybody. Well, I did. I have the right to date anybody or be with whomever I wanted to be as a person. But as a female, we're often looked more as like the Maria Tatami, like the Jezebel of jiu-jitsu, if you start dating. But like, what if you're a blue belt and he's a black belt and you guys really kicked off the personalities? Like you guys are really clicking, you know? It does look bad as a lower belt female because all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now that she's the teacher's pet. And then you end up avoiding stuff. Like I've been in a situation where it was like that, right? Like he was an upper belt, I was a lower belt, and it just was awkward after like we split or after like we stopped like talking. So it was very, very hard. And especially like I was more worried with people's interpretation of me than I was of the actual situation. Not that I knew people didn't give a damn and I knew people didn't give a fuck about like who I was with. But like it just, to me, it's like, are they, when I see them whispering, are they talking about me?
Stigma.
Are they making fun of me?
Yeah, but is that also a
it's not
self-reflection
right.
of what you think of it, and you're like internalizing it and thinking that too? So it's like obviously there's something to it.
I mean, I've been in those conversations in the gym where like somebody starts talking about a girl that's dating and like she's perceived, I'm going to use the word slut, that she's perceived, whether she likes it or not, whether she is or not, that's how guys, at least old school guys maybe, you know, some guys are talking about it like that, and it's wrong. It's absolutely wrong, but it does happen. It's a shame that it happens, but it's you know, the guy does it, and
There's
it's
a
just like,
you're saying there's a stigma.
You're a stud, you know, you know, and then a girl does it, especially if it's an upper belt. It's like, what is she doing this for?
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
Well,
Well,
jiu-jitsu.
I have a friend of mine. She reached out to me because there's an uncomfortable situation that she's aware about. She was made aware about. And, you know, long story short, the head instructor is sleeping with one of the white belts.
Gross.
But he's bragging about it. And like there'll be times where he'll be talking to his boys saying, yeah, I'm with this one, but I messed with this one. I messed with that one. Like they're just making the locker room like their personal harem.
Yeah.
And for me, that's uncomfortable, right? You could have had a meaningful relationship with that person, but for bragging rights, you're just tarnishing another human's, not even just female, right? Just another person's reputation. For what? For another
But
notch
that
on your
will
belt?
blow up in his face.
I'm
that will
hoping,
blow up in that
I
person's
really
face.
hope it will, because this particular person has not been the nicest person to me. And like this person is the same person who really like hurt my feelings and just really like put it out there, you know, like it's just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So my friend posted a thread on Reddit, and someone found out her name and like posted all that stuff. So she got freaked out. So she deleted it, but she's still an advocate for like, hey, like we have to make this a safe spot. We're teaching self-defense to women, but we're not being protective.
You're being harassed by the people that are supposed to teach you how to protect yourself from being harassed.
And you're paying customers.
That's why it was really disgusting what happened in the last few years with these younger girls. They're being brought there by their parents to to learn, to feel better about themselves, to lose weight.
I got a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah.
My daughter's been doing jiu-jitsu for like 4 years now, dude.
You're bringing them. It's like the what's like the saying? You're
leading the
belly of the beast. You're bringing them into the belly of the beast.
Yeah.
You know, like, hey, I want her to do better and feel comfortable, and then you're bringing them to the predator. You don't even realize.
That's what I meant earlier when I said just because they're a good jiu-jitsu practitioner, which there are, doesn't mean they're a good person.
You know,
right?
I've said this about myself, and actually I was talking to my wife about this recently, is like, I'm friendly with everybody at my gym, but I don't go out of my way to like be friendly with especially the younger girls. I could, they're 16 to, 40. I told my wife, I never want you to walk into that gym and sit down to come to promotion or to watch me roll or anything, and for there to be you to feel in any way, shape, or form, why is he being so friendly with her? That, as a husband, I've never wanted to put myself into that position. I'm friendly with the girls. I say hi. People know about the podcast. I give away little keychains and stickers and patches, and I'm always friendly, but I'm not their friend. That as a husband, I'm in a place where we have probably more women than the average gym because of our dynamic.
They got a lot of ladies over
and
there.
I never just want to be in the position. Now, if there are girls that I am friendly with, like Flo, who can kick my ass.
Yeah.
Who's
That's my
really
relationship
freaking tough,
with
right?
Flo, yeah.
It's just like, I don't choose to roll with, if a girl wants to roll with me, she asks me, that's fine. They usually don't, because I'm probably double their size most of the time. But Flo is definitely somebody that I'll be like, let's roll. Like, I'll grab her to roll, and it's just, we are friends.
I usually don't say, yeah, I just go, oh, shit.
I don't, my point is that there's a perception, and I've never wanted to put myself in that position. I'm not saying that's right for everybody, and somebody could say, well, then that's your wife's problem. I don't get, I just never wanted to put myself in that position. It looks weird from the outside. You said it before. Like, I care what people think. That's maybe a flaw of mine, that I do care what, the perception is of what I do to a fault.
Yeah.
But I mean,
you're in a weird age gap. If you want my personal opinion,
yeah,
it's because you're in a weird age gap.
It's because,
I think it's where you were born, how you were raised, because like very, very old school, Long Island, dad cop, that type of all-American value. But you saw the internet.
Well, it just came from a place you do not put yourself in that position where something could happen.
But I don't even think that way.
Yeah, I do think that way.
I don't think that way at all.
Again, well,
my rule for all my male teammates, I tell them, I said, I'm here for you, but 11 o'clock at night, that's when the phone goes on Do Not Disturb. I will not text you after 11 o'clock.
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Remember,
I won't.
I'm sorry, Erin Harp and her husband came on the show from Gracie Apollo Beach.
Yeah.
And one of the rules that they had, I don't know if they had it before, all the craziness with what happened, especially in Florida, their policy was if somebody's doing a private, there's never a time where a man is alone with a female student doing privates or anything like that. There's always going to be a female presence. Neither one of them, especially were ever going to be doing, hey, I've got a private with this young lady. Like, that's just smart. Like, female presence. I think the female's presence changes the dynamic of a gym, and a scumbag is not going to try to do that when there are a bunch of women around who are going to be like, yeah, I'm older and I recognize scumbag when I see it.
I also just kind of want to not discredit how many wonderful human beings there are in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it weeds out. It weeds out the dirtbags.
There's a lot. There's way more of those than there are.
Exposes them. I shouldn't say necessarily weeds them out. It exposes the dirtbags pretty quickly.
And I've personally experienced coaches kick people out of gyms, professionally, but because of that. And kudos to people like that too,
Holla.
And I'm just kind of selfishly asking all these questions because, like I said, I got a young daughter in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Ask away, please.
And I don't know how to navigate that space. I don't know how to be a female. I don't know. Everybody's all like, the world is scary now. I was like, to me personally, I think the world has always been scary.
Yeah.
It's been scary when you had no shelter. It's been scary to when, there was no running water. It's been scary to when, you were crossing the plains. Like, there's always been a level of scary.
When it comes to jiu-jitsu, I know if I had a young daughter, I would definitely be there during the entire class.
Every time.
There are certain gyms you can drop people off and you come pick them up. Unless
I
there
think
was a
kids,
situation
bro.
where, again, there's so many girls, I'm like, okay, I'm super comfortable.
Mhm.
I would just be the parent that's going to be there. I'm probably going to be on, sitting on the side waiting for my child, male or female, small child. I'm going to wait for them till after the class is done.
Yep.
That's just me.
100%.
Yep.
You don't
And
want something to happen. That's how something doesn't happen.
And also social media makes everything more available, right? In that sense. Like there's kids at the gym who are like 12, 13 and they have Snapchat and Instagram. Why?
Yeah.
Like, just I'm not targeting the kids at the gym, but just in general, why are 10 to 15-year-olds on social media? Like
My daughter's
Not a big fan of that. Yeah.
it's insane. It's really insane. And I grew up with the Tiger Mom. My mom gave me specific rules of like how to follow things, and I feel like she was strict. Did I go a little crazy in college? Absolutely. But by the time college came around, I was an adult. I was able to make my own decisions. I was able to consent to things that I couldn't as a teenager, So hey, I feel you, Miguel. Like it's hard, right? When you have a little girl. Like I have a 6-year-old niece and I worry every single day that something my brother's gonna call me and be like, hey, I need you to come here and help me beat somebody up because granted he could do it himself. He's a big guy, but like
It's not even that. It's just the influence too. The
Yeah,
influence, like you
exactly.
said, the Snapchat, the Instagram. My daughter's gonna think that like, oh, I have to look this way, or even.
yeah.
So I have this rule with Instagram where I follow females, right?
Right.
But I follow females that like I like in the sense of they're great at something that I like. Not because like they look good or whatever, but I happen to be into fitness, so
They're
that
not
kind of
doing
just
the rash guard.
no, they're not
the
doing.
no-gi
Yeah, I'm not
short
just even talking
thing.
about. I'm a huge MMA fan. I'm a huge.
I got you. Me too.
I'm a
Yeah,
huge
I'm there with you.
like CrossFit fan. Like I love watching CrossFit games and stuff like that. Like people that do that kind of stuff. Just even, dude, I'll even watch like I like watching like the lumberjack competition
Yeah.
and like all of that type of stuff. They have a female division and some of them do some badass shit. They actually climb faster than some of the dudes
You
because
follow
they're
them
lighter.
too? Like you follow them too?
Yeah, I follow bull riders that are females, and I mean the males too. But what I'm saying is my rule is, as soon as they go to thotty,
To the OnlyFans side?
yeah, like, and you know what? Get your paper, dude. Like I get it, I understand,
But doesn't
like,
mean you
that's-
have to follow
That's not
them.
my feed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I definitely, the most uncomfortable thing that can happen.
But that's my fear. That's
is
my fear.
I'm looking through Instagram and then like I will sit in bed and me and my wife will just be like on one of our phones looking through
Yeah.
TikTok or Instagram. And then boom, some girl comes up and it's just like, whoa, like all but,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
Dude,
she does jiu-jitsu and she's like, yeah, I know. Keep
Dude.
going, whatever.
Check
I
this
don't
out.
like being in that. I don't like to be in that position where I have to defend myself. So I agree with you. I'm not like necessarily following all those people.
My wife's always on Snapchat, and she's been telling me for years, like, just get on Snapchat or else you won't see your family when you're at work because she doesn't post anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bit the bullet like 2 weeks ago, and it was literally the phone in her hand. I just put in my credentials, and I was like, just walk me through the app because I don't know how to use the app. And she's like, this is how I use it. And then she clicks on the stories. Dude, I've never had Snapchat ever in my life. The first 8 stories, because it doesn't know what my algorithm is, it just knows that my name is Miguel. I'm an American male. It probably knows how much I make a year. It knows my demographic. It just has this blank slate that
Did it give you a booty?
it was all women just and she was like, I was like, did you get that?
That's not my fault.
But that's the algorithm, just because of my age, my everything, where I live, all of that kind of stuff, blank slate. Now I go to my stories on Snapchat, and it's like, which I rarely go to, and it's all animal stuff because my daughter follows so many reptile people, But what I'm saying is like the stigma is what I'm scared of with my daughter navigating these waters as she grows up in jiu-jitsu.
So is it weird now, Lydia? Do you see, like, you came up? How long have you been training just jiu-jitsu now? Let's right.
Just jiu-jitsu about 10 years.
10 years, right? So I mean, it's much different. I'm 9. Social media was different. Do you see the difference with the younger people, even in the gym? Not just watching jiu-jitsu videos or anything like that, but the social side of it, how they interact with each other?
Absolutely. Like for me, I'm guilty of posting bathing suit photos because I'm super proud of how I look, man. Like I worked really hard. I dieted, I eat clean, but my body's a weapon. Like this is what I worked for. So like I'm never in like a compromising position when I'm taking pictures, but like I'll take bikini photos here and there. But then there's like girls who just are in these like positions, who are in like lingerie and like I'm like, okay, that's too much. Like now you're giving the naysayers a reason to continue to treat women the way they do.
I always wonder how
you're objectifying yourself.
I wonder what happens in that girl's gym. Like, how is she perceived? Is it?
Hey, do you follow?
Difficult?
Do you follow?
Yeah, is it difficult for you, or is it difficult for them that when they do post those more like sexual pictures? Is it harder for those girls in the gym?
So I
I'm more conscientious of what I post just because I know these teens follow me.
Yeah.
Now, like, I think the last bathing suit photo I posted was like 4th of July, and it was just me looking at the ocean or something like that. But I'm conscious now because I'm like, shit, man, I really liked this bathing suit, but it shows too much here. And if I post this, the teenagers are going to see it, or like people are going to see it and they're going to think, oh, she's one of those.
You feel like you have a responsibility.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when it's done tastefully, it's different, but it's obvious when you go through somebody's feed and it's all like, TNA and bent over here doing this and, the pictures in the mirror and,
youth is a, what I'm saying? Beauty is fast, bro.
Fleeting.
Yeah, it's very fast. I see both sides of it. I just think you should be an adult and understand what you're doing. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to objectify yourself.
That's an oxymoron because you're going to be young. You're not going to know, but you're going to have the look. So you're going to flaunt it.
But some of them are smart.
When you get older, you stop flaunting because you realize you're acting funny.
These kids are growing up fast, though, man.
Yeah, they're growing up fast. But I'm saying, like, there's males and females that are on Instagram that are getting their verification and they're getting their hits and they're bringing them over to their websites and they got sponsors and they got money coming in. Dale, bro. I think it's not the responsibility of the person who wants to create the content to be responsible for the image that everybody gives them. If they're, I'm
not a hater.
Attention, and that's what I'm saying.
I'm not a hater.
This is why I'm so conflicted, because like, what if my son or my daughter are just like, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be an Instagram star, I want to be a.
Well, it's how you're also, not that it's anything wrong with it, but again, you're going to instill certain values, right? And your daughter's going to lean one way versus the other because you've instilled those values.
Just talk to her. Just communicate.
Yeah,
I think the best thing my mom ever did for me was talk to me about everything. And when I say everything, like,
yeah, my wife.
That's a rule in my house.
My wife does that.
We talk about everything.
And you label body parts the right name. And ever since I was small, ever since I was like young, like 6 or 7, like my mom would like talk to me about things and she'd be completely open. Whereas other kids in school, they're like, la, la, la. They're very like naive. And I think that's why my brother and I matured very quickly, because my mom was very open about things. Like my dad is still very like waspy and very like, oh, we don't talk about that. Like,
you don't hear that.
But my mom's like, often. No, let me talk. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you about that. Let me tell you about roofies, and let me tell you about what guys do after you have a roofie, or what girls can do to you after they roofie you. It's just, it's a situation where if you're continuously open and communicating, especially when you have a daughter who's growing up in 2022, I really feel that communication is key.
My daughter just went away to college for first year, and we bought her that little. There's I think it starts out as a scrunchie.
It's a scrunchie,
yep.
And it goes over the cup, and it's like a room for a straw. I'm like,
yeah.
Even what I said before, we used to go on a lot of cruises, and both of my daughters, 29 and 18. I'd be like, listen, if you put your drink down and you go back to get it 5 minutes later, you've got the drink package to just go get a new drink. Don't be in a position where you're taking anything from anybody or you've left it sitting and you go back to drink. You just never know. Like we've ingrained that in them. Like, don't, just be careful. You just don't know. The nicest guy winds up being that guy that does something.
I got drugged at a Pink Floyd cover band concert.
Really?
Yeah, but you taking the drug doesn't count.
I wasn't. It's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
I walked home in the snow.
Oh, boy.
Like,
how long
and
was
I was
that?
Crying and calling my sister. I was like, I don't know. I was a man. I was 20, like, I was probably like 26 years old.
Oh, Jesus.
I was walking to my own house that I owned
Yeah.
in the snow,
Oh, well.
crying to my sister.
All right.
Find my belt.
So let's jump. What time is it? What time is it?
In real life?
the drill down.
Okay,
Yeah.
boom. And then, you haven't used the logo yet.
Yeah.
Did you use the logo in any
On
episodes?
on this one,
On this
the
last one?
last one,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome.
We just renamed the
so-
segment.
Lydia, we do, I think it's probably about 6 or 7 questions that we ask every guest. They're usually these, like, we formulated these questions from, like, common questions that we get from everybody. I don't want to give T-shirts and coffee mugs to everyone.
Yeah.
So these are like the common. Somebody says, "Hey, ask her, does she like to do, pull guard?" So this is for them. So okay, we can run through this quick. You can elaborate whatever you want to do. So first question is gi or no gi? What's your preference?
Gi.
Always gi?
Always gi.
Do you train in no gi at all?
Yes. I compete no gi too.
You
but
compete in
I
no gi as well.
I prefer the gi.
Okay. Take down or pull guard?
Take down.
Take down.
Yeah.
Take down.
I love this one. We've added this recently. Music during rolling. Yes or no?
Yes, but depends on my mood.
What's your go-to?
Slipknot.
Ah, ooh, you
Nice.
like it. Oh,
You like 48 people in a band?
I do. I've seen them live like 4 times. So
Yeah.
yes,
No,
I
Slipknot's legit.
they're
I
awesome.
gotcha.
Corey, I love you.
Do you watch jiu-jitsu? Are you somebody that's checking out the WNOs and the fight to wins, or is it like once I get home, I'm looking at you in your gym. You're not leaving it at the gym, but are you a consumer of jiu-jitsu as well?
75-25.
Yeah.
Like 75% of the time. It depends on the season too. Like if I'm getting ready for Worlds, I'll sit down and I'll watch some tape and I'll review some film and work on things that I need to work on, watch my old matches, and like I sit with my husband and we have like a popcorn night where we just kind of go over each other's matches.
Okay.
But like these days I'm kind of like, oh, I'm home.
Yeah.
I have my dog. He's crying right now in the crate, but it's all good.
So what is that like? Having did you train jiu-jitsu and date people that were outside of jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Was that hard?
That was the worst thing.
How
I
is
ever
that?
did.
It was hard.
It was so bad. Like, and as a female, especially when I was single, and they say, "Oh, what do you like to do for fun?" I'm like, "Well, I like to work out." Well, what kind of workouts? I'm like, "Are you promise you won't unmatch me?" Because,
Yeah.
and then I would tell them, and they're like, "Oh yeah," and like some guys would date me out of curiosity to see if I'd put them in like specific positions, and I'm like, "Yo, we're just having sushi and drinks right now. Like, relax, man.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I like you yet. Relax.
I'll
They
break
just-
your neck later.
They just
I'll
want
kill you
to.
later."
They
but,
just
like,
want to. Have you ever been in a relationship where it was like whatever, a couple days have gone by, or even weeks, and then like they don't do jujitsu whatsoever, and they're like, "So what's it all about?" And they're like, "Well, I could wrestle you," and then like you wrestle them, and then you just straight up destroy them.
It happened once, and he quickly never called me again.
I'm actually like
I'd run towards that fire.
like I talk about this a lot. My wife is not into jiu-jitsu whatsoever. Even was just telling Miguel, like she doesn't even like to get together when I'm like it's jiu-jitsu friends and it's an event or something. She feels uncomfortable because she doesn't. I should say she does like kickboxing, but like it's called raw kickboxing. I go with her sometimes. I love it, but it's she's not sparring. She's doing kickboxing like more like the I love kickboxing style.
Like the CKO.
Yeah,
or
like
CKY or
I
whatever.
joke with her and I call it dance fighting. I'll be like, oh, you're dancing around, and it's not. They're hitting bags. Drop down and do some,
Burpees or whatever.
Yeah, burpees, and like it's a great. I've gone and I'm like,
It's a workout.
it's a workout. They're just not sparring, but she does that, so she gets it. She fell in love with that after I was doing jiu-jitsu and like really pushing her to like, find something that you like, come to jiu-jitsu. And she found that after trying yoga and bar and all this other shit. But she does not like jiu-jitsu. So it's difficult for us because she'll go to UFC fights with me. She'll go hang out at a bar. She'll do all that. But when it's like jiu-jitsu get together,
It's hard.
You're
It's
going
a
to
hard.
hold their hand.
It's a hard sport to watch.
I don't know what to say. You guys are all talking about jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, not all the spouses do jiu-jitsu. It's not always like that. You just have to find like your niche. But it is difficult in our relationship because
You hold her hand and she's like, "Stop doing jujitsu on me."
yeah, well, yeah. I tend to do that. I start wrist locking her and doing weird shit, and she's like, or she'll say, we'll be cuddling or doing something, and she's like, "Are you doing jiu-jitsu on me?" And I've got her in like a lockdown.
Some countries,
The answer
in
is
some
yes.
countries they call that jujitsu. Yeah.
But so you said like the dating part. You mentioned the dating part.
Yes.
I got alerts coming up on the screen here. You mentioned the that dating part, but did you ever date somebody long term where just your love of jiu-jitsu became an issue? The amount of training, did that ever become an issue in a dating situation?
It's hard work.
I was with somebody for 5 years. I guess you could say we were common law. And he started training, but then he stopped training because of how much I was training. And then we would fight all the time because I wanted to compete. And I was like that stereotypical blue belt that was like, yo, jiu-jitsu is really cool, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome. And he got really sick of it. And then one day a fight really broke out. And I said, you know what? I can't do this anymore. Like, you're either going to support me or you're either going to find your own thing to do. So I walked up.
Yeah.
Damn.
You ripped
That
his
sucks.
arm off
2
first.
points.
Yeah.
I left.
Okay, let's go back. So next question. Who are your favorite competitors to watch? Do you have any?
I do. Leandro Lo, who was a friend of mine,
Rest in
by
peace.
the way. He was such an amazing light in the sport. Just watching him, and I got to train near him when I went to Fabian Rosa's during Pans, and like we caught up a little bit, and it was really cool, like seeing him training and all that stuff. Because I'm so used to seeing him competing, right? And then I hadn't seen him train in like a really long time. Last time I saw him training, I was like in Brazil, like years ago. But watching him live, it was really cool. Female aspect wise, Nachi de Jesus. She's tall and she has long limbs like I do, so it's really cool to watch that perspective and to watch her move around and all that. And believe it or not, Bergisa. I like watching Felipe Pena, like when he's really sound of mind, and his gi game is really one of the best in the world, and I really like watching it. I might get critiqued for it, but you know, I really admire Felipe, and I think that he has a lot of heart. And you know, when he is sound of mind, when he's really putting 100% of it into the game, like he's so amazing to watch. I had the pleasure of watching him 2018 and 2019 at the Black Belt Worlds, and it was so cool.
Yeah. Do you think that he'll fight Gordon again? Do you think that he could beat him?
I think he'll be able to fight him, but I think this one loss will sit with him for a little bit, because he didn't just lose like in a regular match, right? Like it was like a very extenuating circumstance. Yeah. And again, like I said, I might get critiqued for it, and I really don't care, because I want you to go out there after your best friend got shot in the head the same day, and I want you to go compete.
Yeah,
you do that.
We don't worry about people who critique here. Well, honestly,
perfect.
Everybody has an opinion. What do they say? Opinions are like assholes.
Everyone has one,
and they all stink.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. No,
so
like that's a valid point. And I would say to defend Gordon's position, that dude is a businessman through and through. Yeah. It's his job to make Felipe look like the biggest D-bag ever.
You know what? I saw them like they were like hugging. Fine. They were hugging at a bar afterwards. Fine. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, okay, squash.
He's
Gordon.
like the Kobe
and
Covington.
He's on him again now.
Yeah.
He's on him again.
You want to know why? Because there's money on the line, dude. Whatever. He's the Kobe Covington of jiu-jitsu.
I would
it's
not
like
to see them
grapplers. Yeah, it's not the grapplers that so much bother me. It's the fans, right? It's the guys that are like the 3-stripe white belt who thinks that they know jiu-jitsu and they're talking smack. And to me, it's like, relax, white belt. Yep. Okay, like take it easy. Like it's just, you know,
post and ghost. I don't pay attention to. I say I don't pay attention to it, and we don't get many negative comments at all. Any negative comments about the show have been like when we first started, the wires on the table are distracting. Like never about the show.
We got one negative comment that was a positive comment. They're like, stop trying to be like Joe Rogan. I was like, who doesn't want to be the awesome #1 podcast?
Thank you. Somebody just commented about like the spot, like after 15 minutes of sponsors, I got to listen to the show and I won't ever again. And I'm like, first of all, thank you for commenting and helping us with the algorithm. Yeah. And I never answer.
You know,
and
the
I just
thumbs down helps.
You know what? You know the stuff that I'm going through right now, and I'm just like, no, today's not the day. You know, and I just responded to him. I'm like, thank you for that. But I go, they help us pay for the show for us to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And it just happened that he was like, I really like that guest. Well, that guest was on, and we've done everything to promote his GoFundMe because he's been sick. It was the Kurt Osiander episode. We've got him on our link tree. Like, if you love him so much, okay, fast forward through the shit and listen to it.
Donate money to him.
And look at how much we promoted his GoFundMe. We're still episodes later. It's in like all of the podcast descriptions. Like, all right, a-hole. I don't know. That could be some 16-year-old kid.
Don't
but
hold
it was
back,
the
Milton.
first time that I was just like, listen, wrong day. Bro, this is not the day. And I commented, but I have thought it's funny now because you've always been like, oh, like you'll comment on something and it's funny.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, if I can get him to go back and forth, it does help with the algorithm on that episode.
Yeah.
So, okay, you want to argue with me, throw back. But anyway, I usually don't do it. Point is, I don't pay attention to what anybody says.
No, dude.
What are you doing for jiu-jitsu?
You know what you
this
need
is
to
what
do?
we're doing for jiu-jitsu.
Just listen to 2 or 3 Mr. Beast interviews, and then you will understand.
Who's Mr. Beast?
Come on, bro. He's the number 1 YouTuber in the world.
Is he?
The number 1.
I don't know what is that?
I've sent you a couple of his interviews.
You sent me something. Okay, yeah.
Okay, you need to watch him. This dude literally, he was like telling you how to win.
Yeah.
Like how it's a game out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if you're playing the game, play the game, and then when one person has a grudge, the other one's out there dancing, bro. That's
all right,
what you got to take.
Next question.
Next question.
And we'll see. I think you kind of answered this a little bit before. What is your ultimate goal in jiu-jitsu?
Just want to continue to have fun and eventually have my own gym. That's like my goal. I got my black belt already, so. But
when do you see that? Do you have in your mind? Is there a time frame?
There is, but I'm not ready to share that time frame yet because it's still in the works. But there is a time frame.
On the follow-up on the black belt thing, everybody always says it's like cliche at this point. Like once you get your black belt, it feels like you just started.
It really is. Like it really lives like that. Now I'm in black belt and I think to myself, man, who's in my division? Medium heavy. I got Veda Toscano, right? If Chloe McNally from Unity jumps up to medium heavy, I'm toast. I got Maggie Grundaddy. And if I want to go heavy, right, I got Joy Pendel. I also have Catherine Mitrovic, who trains with Joy out in Sacramento, right? And then the super heavy, I got Mayara Costuggio. I have all these like big heavy hitters. Luisa Montero, like heavy hitters.
Elizabeth Clay lighter than you?
Liz is lighter than I am. We fought one time. She gogo-plotted me in 15 seconds.
She gogo-plotted everything.
Everything.
Yeah, she
I thought I was
gogo-plotted her
passing her
sandwich
guard
before she eats it.
I know, for real. It's like, but the way that she did it, I was so embarrassed. It was that purple belt. I'll never forget. Nogi pants. She jumps guard. I slam her hip on the mat, and as I'm like going in for the pass, I just feel her leg go over my head, and I'm like, it's over.
Stupid flexible.
Yeah.
Stupid flexible.
Good story though. You want to ask the very last question? I'll leave that one for you.
All right, man. This one's serious.
This is important.
Yeah.
I'm going to get my serious face on.
All right. Do you or do you not wash your jiu-jitsu black belt?
Or any belt.
Or any belt. I just wanted to put the black belt pressure on.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, wash your belt. That's where staff comes from.
Yeah. Thank you. Awesome. There are people that don't wash their belt. If you don't wash your belt and you can give me a really good reason, I'll listen. But when
Wagner
you say
almost changed your mind.
You
got intimidated.
I was intimidated by Wagner sitting right here looking at me going, "You wash your belt?"
Cave in.
It's like I was cheating. It's like that's cheating. That's like you're washing it to make it look like that you train more. And I'm like, that had never even crossed my mind. I wash it because it's dirty, sir.
Do you ever watch The Big Lebowski?
Professor?
You ever watch The Big Lebowski?
No, not really. Not all the way through.
That's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah, well, that's what he
man.
So I never washed my blue belt because of that whole old school mentality.
Damn, you were like a true.
I thought I saw it walking behind you before.
You were there.
Yeah, no. I was that guy, right?
Yeah.
Or that girl.
Do you tape all your fingers and?
No, please. No. So Worlds 2018, I went with my two really good friends, Katie Egan, who is Women Who Roll Jiu-Jitsu, and Saida Durkee, who's Ginger Ninja. We stayed in a room together, and after we unpacked, they were like, "What's that smell?" They're like, "Something smells really bad." And I was like, "Yeah, what is it?" They're like, "Oh, it's in the closet." And they're like, "Lydia, it's your goddamn belt.
Wow.
Like, put that shit outside. Like, that's just disgusting." And that's when it occurred to me, like, I should wash my belt. And then I realized afterwards how much bacteria clings to cotton. and how terrible that would be, because I am a person who has eczema on their hands, and like God forbid I grab the belt the wrong way the wrong day, I'm gonna get a terrible staph infection in my hands, which I need for work and for jiu-jitsu. So that was the weekend I decided I'm gonna start washing my belt, guys.
Is that when you blew your knee out after you started washing your belt?
No.
You want to post a video that gets a lot of attention?
Just throw your belt.
Post a video of you putting your belt in the wash.
Yeah.
I did it after we had Mike Spider Ninja Bidwell on the first time.
You'll break the internet.
He'll do it, and like if you put like the next time I do it, I'm gonna do it.
Don't post it on r/BJJ because then I'll know who you are. But do it somewhere else.
But no, like you post it on your Instagram, but post it. You'll never get more attention on anything than washing your belt. I wanted to do one with the sound where it's like the belt is screaming as I put it in, like just. That's my next one.
If you could get the guy who could do the doodle hands, it's
funny how much attention that you'll get, and people actually there are two sides to it. We ask the question because there are two sides, and there are people that feel very adamant about not washing it. Oh, I put it in the sun. Oh, I Lysol it.
Yeah.
Oh, I make sure that it dries.
I wrap it in crystals.
Yeah.
Does your belt wash?
Go to Amazon, pay $4 for a bra bag, and that could be your belt bra bag, and you just put your belt in the bra bag and you wash it with your colors.
I wash my belt and then I hang it to dry because most belt manufacturers, as soon as you dry them, man, boy, do they shrink.
Yeah, I know. I never dry it. If it's not, if it's long, dry it.
I dry it one time to 8/4.
I've got 2 brown belts in my bag. I go like this in my bag and I pull that out.
Yeah.
And when I'm done, I use it to wrap my gi top, and I go home and I throw it all in the wash.
When I want a new belt, I just go on Flow and Roll's website and I input the code JJD and I save myself 20% every single time.
He's shouting out our sponsor.
Shameful
Thank you.
Plug.
Or you can go to Toro Beat, or you can go to Cage Side MMA.
Yeah.
Use Lydia.
Yeah, there you go. You can do that.
For any Toro gear.
I told you we give you some time. We're always going to give our guests some time to shout out their sponsors. Here's your time. Go ahead.
Yeah, give it up.
We got Neutral Zone, guys.
Yes.
We love them.
Mike and Candy. Love you guys.
right.
Thank you so much for providing me with wipes so I'm not stinky. And for the CBD cream, it really saved my neck, literally.
Awesome.
Shouting out my biggest sponsor and my biggest homie, Boomer, at Toro BJJ. They supply all my gis and all my cool rash guards. I have my favorite rash guard is the one that says Guardzilla, and it's Godzilla in a gi, and he's wrecking Tokyo. It's amazing. But guys, use my name Lydia for 10% off on all Toro gear. Link is in my bio. And my newest sponsor is my buddy Mike Soya, who's my physical therapist and also my biggest sponsor for Worlds, Nogi Worlds. His handle is Soya Sumigashi. So follow him, guys. He's such an amazing person. He's a cigar aficionado, loves his whiskey, looks great in a Jort Speedo. Sorry, Danielle, I had to do it. And he's one hell of a PT guy. Fixed my neck in like 4 sessions, and
in what
has
area?
been writing me.
Like, what area does he operate in?
He operates in the Union County area.
All right,
guys, Union County, New Jersey. He's out of Kenilworth. So guys, hit him up. He's amazing. He's great. He's written me conditioning workouts where it only takes 15 minutes, but you feel like you're going to die.
And let everybody know where they can find you. Is your preference, like people reach out if they have questions or want to maybe book you for a seminar or something like that? Is it Instagram?
Yeah, feel free to send me a request on IG. So I do have a closed inbox because there's a lot of creeps out there. So if you have sent me a DM and we don't follow each other, just make a comment on one of my posts saying like, hey, I just shot you a DM about a seminar. Can we get together? I'm sorry, I had to close my inbox just out of respect for myself and for my marriage. Like I need to keep some clean.
What's the Instagram handle though? We're going to have it on the screen when throughout the episode, but go ahead and give it to those people that are listening on the sound, just on the podcast apps.
My IG is Lydia Coleman JJ, LYDIACOLEMANJJ.
Awesome. Anybody else you want to shout out? Any other sponsors?
The gym.
I want to shout out my gym, Notorious MMA, and I want to shout out my girl Fee.
You said her name a couple of times. Do you know her Instagram handle or what's her full name? Because I know you said Fiona and Fee, but people might not know who she is.
Sure, yeah, it's Fiona Watson Rapinski, and I think she's Team Fiona BJJ.
Okay.
And also she's notorious mixed martial arts.
Okay,
is the,
there you go.
Is the full handle.
It's a good year to
Okay.
be named Fiona.
Yeah, right.
What a great dude.
Well, she's Fiona. Not
Yeah,
Fiona.
she's Fiona. You're right,
Yeah.
and she hates it when people call her Fiona.
There you go. So she hates you.
So
now. We'll never have her on.
We were watching ADCC, and when she won her semis, everyone was tagging my Fiona in all of her stuff.
Yes.
Get a little boost there.
Trickle
And it's
down.
funny because they're both tiny blondes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Lydia. We really appreciate it. We had a lot. When the time goes by, and then I notice it's like 2 hours. It's like, I know we had a good podcast and we had
That's
fun.
a nice one.
absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, don't hang up, but thank you so much for doing this. We'll put this out in about a week to 10 days. We'll tag you. We'll let you know. Please share it, and we'll keep an eye out for you on the mats.
Sounds good. Thanks for
All right.
having me. It's been a
Awesome.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Neutral Zone is combat family owned, so they know you need to keep yourself and your equipment clean. They created Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays for just that purpose. Neutral Zone products are formulated to reduce the risk of bacterial and fungal infections. Whatever's making you sweat, weight training, rolling on the mats, yard work, or just working around the house, Neutral Zone Clean wipes and sprays can make you feel and smell refreshed. Use code JJD to get 15% off your online order at NeutralZoneClean.com. While you're there, sign up for their newsletter to receive the latest info and updates on product launches like their new shower gel and soap bar coming soon. Are you Neutral Zone Clean? Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Great guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I told you we should
She's
have her on.
super cool.
Ah.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how fast 2 hours went by.
Yeah, I do have the timer going, but like when I'm not even paying attention to it, I'm just like, wow, we're going long.
That's an
When I
interesting.
look down, I'm like, wow, we went long.
I
But
got-
That's an
it is what it
interesting
is.
guess. No, I mean,
Watch it in two
went-
parts, people.
It just
It's a
it went by
different
so
perspective,
quickly
too.
because she's really interesting and she knows how to
Yeah.
hold a conversation. She's
Yeah.
very.
Talk.
Well,
And it
And
was
for
also
me. You got to remember me watching from here on the recorder and stuff, and it usually like times goes by slow.
so I'm saying that went by super quick. I'm
She's
like,
like,
oh wow,
yeah.
we're
that
almost at 2
could
hours.
easily
All right.
have been double.
Yeah. All right. So a little housekeeping for everybody. We've got the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu
I've been reposting
rash guard and
shorts.
shorts are now available for pre-order on flowandroll.com. If you go to the team page, right, you can just look at go to teams, and it says team gear, and then we're at the top of the drop down. It says Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. You'll see RT, and you'll see now the rash guard and the no-gi shorts.
On the website, on my phone, it's the first thing that pops up. If you go to the Flow and Roll website, he's got like the put in your information. As soon as you scroll down, the first thing is the Peace Love Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go check it out. I know we mentioned it earlier in the show as well.
I gotta ask you a question. This is just. I mean, I'll donate. It don't matter. Like, are we getting one, or do I got to go get one? Because I want to go get one.
You're gonna get one.
Okay.
You got one.
Because I buy Flow and Roll stuff.
Yeah,
with my own money.
You're good.
Don't tell my wife.
If you wanted to buy one,
you remember
we owe some to some people that we were gonna give. We had them choose between the tee, the mug, or at the time I offered them the rash guard, which we're not anymore.
When you were mysterious.
I've got like 2 or 3 people that are gonna get the pre-order of the top. And that's it. But otherwise, please support. It's our first collab of this nature with.
I've been
with
getting in
Flow and Roll,
shape for it.
Yeah,
I want to look good.
We got to do some good promo stuff.
Yeah.
So we're. I was so happy with the design. I said, let's do the shorts as well, and I think it came out really cool. So go check it out at flowandroll.com. And for anybody that's been listening, right? We've talked about sending in the receipts if you purchase anything from any of our. We're sponsors.
Happening.
We're going to do that $250 giveaway. Now we can actually do it. We'll wait till we actually have the items ordered and we know we have them, and then we'll award that.
You want to pick up a winner, episode 100?
Maybe. I think that might be enough time, but we've got to do a little bit of a pre-order, so a few weeks, and then we've got to give it like.
But this has been
a total of 8 weeks. He has it on the website a total of 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I think we got to do the pre-order for like a month, and then actually place our order with the pre-order, and then what we want to stock. And then they're going to come. So it says 8 weeks.
Oh, I thought the contest was like as soon as the rash guard comes out.
Well, we can do it anytime between now and then, and we'll award it. But they're still going to have to wait. So why not get some more?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Get more receipts.
Get more receipts, more chances to win.
So we'll leave it there. But check us out on Instagram at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies. I'm Uncle Milty BJJ on IG.
I am JJD _DJJ69.
And the man behind the camera.
At BADWERKS, and remember to turn the microphone on.
Bad works.
Thank you, everybody, for watching and listening. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu, baby.
Love.